Well, good evening and welcome to Henry Clay High School. William Warfield here with you at Chuck Stivers Field, where we're going to get ready for the 11th Region Tournament. We've already brought you two games today. As moving on, Sayre with a big upset over Lafayette. They won the ball game earlier today. And in our second game of the day, Madison Central won 8-0 over Woodford County. This one, however, is the Lexington Christian Eagles taking on the Western Hills Wolverines. William Warfield alongside my tag team partner for this one, Darren Douglas. And Darren, this game right here should be a pretty decent one.
Yeah, I've never seen either of these teams play this year, and that's saying something for me because I usually get around to at least a game for everybody in the region to watch, so I'll know at least what I'm talking about. But I do know one thing, that under Coach Keith Galloway for LCA, they will be a blue-collar team. They'll one of those bring your lunch pail to work kind of teams. They not flashy, just very solid. And Western Hills headed in that direction, but under first-year Coach Drew Chisholm, I don't know exactly what he's got. They are champions, though, of the 41st District.
Well, we know a guy that's been around for a while, and that's Keith Galloway. Coach Galloway of the Lexington Christian Eagles continues to do well year in and year out. 24-11 on the season. They were 11-7 in the 11th region this year. But the big thing, Darren, is their offense and their pitching. They've scored 176 runs this season. They've given up only 122.
Yeah,
fifth best, by the way, in the 11th region.
Well, and we talked about that in our first game this morning, Sayre and Lafayette. Is you get into the postseason, if you have solid pitching and good fielding, you don't give up extra outs, you don't walk anybody, then you got a shot to win this. You can scratch out a run or two here or things like that. And I think these two teams are going to try to scratch out runs. I don't think they're offensively going to just wow anybody with their offense. They're just going to try to scratch runs out and get good pitching and play solid defense behind it.
We're getting starting lineups here on the field. We've got those for you as well. Let's take a look here at the starting lineups. We'll start with the batting order for the visiting team. That's the Lexington Christian Eagles. Jackson Blair leading things off, batting in the number 1 spot. Batting number 2, Drew Schott. He'll be followed by Andrew Barker batting in the 3rd spot. Batting cleanup, Frederick Rupp. Batting in the 5th position, that's going to be Robbie Stevens. Batting 6th is Hunter Wills. Ty Stevens batting 7th. Batting 8th is Nick Hallstetter. And batting left here, Darren. And that's going to be Nelson Lane, the DH.
Now, trying to point that out there to you, and couldn't get my finger in the right place.
Gotcha.
Nelson Lane, you're right.
Nelson Lane. Okay, yeah. And then for Western Hills, their defense looks like this to start the ball game. Howard's going to be behind the plate. R. Flack over at first base. Jackson, the second baseman. Bennett, the shortstop. Wheatley over at third base. From left to right in the outfield, Barton in left field, Anslin in center field, and Emberton over in right field. Western Hills Wolverines from Frankfort, Kentucky. Connor Graves going to be the starting pitcher for the Wolverines. He stands in there about 5'7", Darren Douglas, but we understand that he's got about 4 different pitches that he can go to.
Well, that's great for a pitcher to have 4 pitches. Now, can you throw them all for strikes at different times in the count? That's going to be critical for him. And the other thing is for every pitcher is to get ahead instead of getting behind and having to throw one right down the middle of the plate to these LCA batters. We'll see if Graves can do that today for Western Hills.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in today to 11th Region Baseball coverage right here on PrepSpin.com. William Warfield alongside Darren Douglas. Gary Ball just made it into the house as well today, and Gary's been under the weather a little bit, but he's back here and ready to go. He'll have the semifinals and the finals for us here coming up in tomorrow and the next day.
Well, Hollywood is in the building. And I've laid off on him for a couple of days because he's been under the weather, but him being here right now means he's feeling better, so I can start teasing him a little bit more. But glad to have him here as usual. And we talk about this 11th region, William. This, from in my standpoint, yes, I grew up in this area and I've seen a lot of it, but I think the 11th region from top to bottom, year in and year out, you can pretty much put any team that comes into this regional tournament in a jar and shake it up, and you see who gets that. Now, we've had some dominant teams, don't get me wrong, but we've already seen an upset today in Sayre.
Absolutely. Jackson Blair going to lead things off here for the Eagles. He's the left fielder for LCA. Drew Schott again batting in the second position, and then Andrew Barker batting third here for LCA. So here we go. Jackson Blair going to step up to the plate. Right-handed batter taking on a right-handed pitcher here in Connor Graves. The first pitch, it's outside for a ball. The first pitch comes at 4:02.
Interesting, the first pitch they start off with is a breaking pitch.
Graves working from the right field side of the rubber. That pitch hits the outside corner for a strike. 1-1 the count here to Blair. LCA wearing the blue fronts on the jerseys. They got a white back, though. Of course, the gray pants from the Eagles. That one fouled straight back. The count goes 1-2. Blair going to look down to Coach Galloway in the coach's box down on third as we get a new baseball here at Henry Clay High School, Chuck Stivers Field. Graves taking his time. Howard setting up on the outside. That pitch upstairs. The count 2-2 here to Jackson Blair. Good crowd here tonight at the ballpark. And I say tonight, this afternoon at the ballpark.
It's the easiest mistake to make how early we started today, too.
Well, the clouds are moving in, and it looks like almost like a sunset type of atmosphere here tonight at the ballpark, where the clouds starting to roll in a little bit, but the wind blowing lightly from right field to left. Ball four upstairs, so Blair will be on with a base on balls, and that's going to bring up Drew Schott to the plate. Drew Schott just recently signed with Center College, so congratulations to that young man.
We've had several players so far in the first two games that have signed to play college baseball at various spots, and some with basketball and some with football, and so we've got a lot of guys going on to college to play, it just shows just how the depth of this 11th region athletically.
Drew Schott, you speak of athletically, he's also a basketball star as he puts down the bunt down on the left side. The big throw over to first by Connor Graves, and Schott beats the throw over to first. So LCA working with runners on first and second here early in this one.
Yeah, he caught the third baseman back deep, about 3 or 4 steps behind the bag at third, and then just a really nice bunt. You couldn't have rolled it out there any better than Schott did.
Well, Andrew Barker is going to step up to the plate. LCA, the All-A Classic state champions, by the way, coming into this ball game. And, again, congratulations to the Eagles on that big feat. The All-A state champions in baseball.
Well, a moment ago you were talking about Coach Galloway. He's the only coach that LCA has ever had.
Is that right?
As a baseball coach. He's been there from the start. And
it's interesting facts coming in from Gary Ball.
Actually, that came from me. Gary was actually telling me the top 4 of these guys are very aggressive at the plate and on the base paths, and we've seen that so far.
That pitch upstairs coming out of his stance is Howard as he grabs the pitch, runs it right back to the pitcher. Nobody moving out there on the base pads. You got Blair at second base, Drew Schott over at first base for the Eagles, Andrew Barker at the plate. The count 0-1.
Of course, they are also a state champion. We talked about this in the first game. I gave a trivia question out. What region actually has the second most state titles? It's region number 7 out of Louisville. Of course, they got 13 now with St. X winning it last year. But top dog in that, the 11th region with 15.
There's a toss back to second, and a balk going to be called here on Connor Graves, so the runners will advance up 90 feet each. Runners on second and third now for LCA. And it looks like Howard and his coach going to come out here and talk things over with Connor Graves, just trying to settle him down here with nobody out. We're in the top of the first inning of play. Just got started here at Henry Clay High School for game number 3 of the day. Again, Madison Central, they went on to victory against Woodford County, and then Sayre with a big upset today over Lafayette earlier today.
Well, the thing about that upset with Sayre, Elias threw a wonderful game and a complete game win for Sayre, but he was also 3 for 4 from the plate. And they got all 6 of the runs came inside the last 3 innings. They got 1 in the 5th and then 5 in the 7th to really salt that away.
Coach Kevin Clary of the Sayre Spartans came over from East Jessamine, and he's doing some outstanding things. Of course, he went from Lexington Catholic to East Jessamine, and then from East Jessamine to Sayre. So he's been around a few schools.
And
but
before that, he was at Bryan Station. So
Bryan Station as well, yes, sir. There's a pitch upstairs to Barker. The count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, nobody out. Runners on second and third here for the Eagles of Lexington Christian Academy. Barker going to touch the plate here with his bat as he's waiting on the pitch from Graves, and Graves steps off the mound out there.
Well, Graves right now is having trouble with his release point.
Low kick to the plate, delivery upstairs. 2 balls and a strike to Barker. Speaking of All-A Classic, Barker had an outstanding All-A Classic for the Eagles. I got to catch some of those games, and young man really showed up there for LCA. Frederick Rupp waiting on deck for the Eagles. Andrew Barker at the plate. Barker digs into one, hits one down left field, foul. That one down the third base line there, and just hooked foul on the hill here at Henry Clay High School. Gave it a ride, Darren Douglas.
Well, we've seen this ball not carry so well, but in the first game this morning, we noticed the wind was playing a big factor on balls late in the game where it was swirling. Right now, the flags are pretty much still out in dead center field, so we'll see how that goes along.
The delivery, and it's hit right back where it came from, straight up the middle. A run that will cross the plate here for the Eagles. They're on the board, 1-0, and runners on the corners. Base hit RBI for Barker.
Well, right now, Graves leaving everything up. Even when he misses for balls, they're up. And right now, LCA taking advantage of that with the leadoff walk and then the bunt single, and now then the balk after that, and now the RBI single. So Graves has got to get the ball down in the strike zone and get ahead in the count.
Frederick Rupp going to step up to the plate next here for the Eagles. We're going to have a little talk again between Howard and Graves on the mound.
Well, that's just one of those where Howard, the catcher, got a call from the dugout, walked out, and just patted his pitcher on the back and said, come on, man, you're better than this. Let's focus a little bit. Throw to me. Just ignore the batter in the box. Throw to me.
Conversation's over with. Rupp ready to go here at the plate for the Eagles. Again, runners on the corners for LCA. Blair across the plate, scored first for LCA. And that one hit out to right field. That's going to be a fair ball. And coming around to score for the Eagles, Drew Schott. Going to third is Barker, and into second with a double is Rupp.
Well, he got one down in the strike zone that time, did Graves. And a nice job of hitting by Schott to reach out on the outside part of the plate and drive it down the right field line.
Robbie Stevens going to be next here for LCA. As Stevens, again, looking down to the third base coaching box there to Coach Galloway. Right-handed hitter again. It's the right-handed pitcher here again as Graves continues to work from the right field side of the rubber. That pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Again, nobody out. If you're just joining us here in Lexington at Henry Clay High School, 1-0. Make that 2-0, excuse me. LCA with the lead. The pitch downstairs. Good block there behind the plate by Howard, especially with the runner over at third for LCA. Graves checking the runner at third, delivers to the plate. This one fouled straight back. Howard giving chase, but it's well out of play. Over into the stands here. Getting a big crowd here watching 11th Region Baseball.
We had a really nice crowd for the opening game today. Lafayette, of course, brought about 3/4 of the stands. Unfortunately for their supporters, they were unable to do anything offensively against Elias.
Graves, the pitch. This one lifted out into center field. Anslin giving chase. He's underneath of it. Tagging from third and coming in to score for LCA. Also a runner advancing over to third. But coming to score was Barker for the Eagles. So a sacrifice fly for Stevens.
Yeah, our flat couldn't get the ball out of his glove. The first baseman had gone to the middle of the diamond to cut the ball off from the center fielder. If he can get it out of his glove cleanly, they got a shot at the runner going to third.
LCA up 3-0. Hunter Wills going to step up to the plate. Wills wearing that number 7 jersey for LCA. Over on third base for the Eagles is Rupp. He had a double. A pitch outside, a ball.
Of course, Wills here's going to stay in town and play his college ball at Transylvania.
Wills ready to roll as he's waiting the pitch from Graves. Graves taking his time, going through the signs with Howard. Howard setting up on the inside. Here's the pitch upstairs, a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Eagles up 3-0. Top of the first inning of play here in Lexington. Good lead at third by Frederick Rupp. The pitch to the plate to Wills. That one upstairs and inside. 3-0. Ty Stevens waiting on deck for LCA. Here's Graves offering. That one fouled straight back. Please don't hit my truck back there.
Well, if you're like me, been around it for 30-some-odd years, you park as far away as you can.
Well,
and then you get a ride in.
I was being a little lazy today when I got here. I didn't want to pack my equipment too far, so I just pulled right up here behind the press box.
Now, you realize you're the youngest one of this group standing right here right now, right?
There's a shot. It's going to get past the diving shortstop Bennett. Coming in to score for LCA is Rupp, and over on first base with an RBI single is Wills.
Got action down in the Western Hills bullpen, and I'll pick up a number I'll tell you in just a second here.
Well, here's Ty Stevens going to step up to the plate for LCA. 4-0. Eagles with the lead.
Robbie Stevens going, how about this? Going to Brown University. Pretty smart kid, huh?
Yeah, you gotta be smart to go there, and you got to be real smart to go to Center College too. Drew Schott going to Center College.
Of course, we're talking Ivy League with Brown.
Graves with the pitch. That one fouled out of play by Stevens.
It's one of the Ivy League schools that doesn't get a lot of recognition for athletics, but very solid academically up there.
Not too many Ivy schools do get too much recognition.
No, Harvard and Princeton have been pretty good over the years.
Well, back in the day, Harvard and Center College played for a football championship. Look it up.
Yeah, and Harvard lost that one 6-0.
Center College was a national champion.
Mm-hmm. Sure enough.
0-2 the count here at the plate to Stevens, Ty Stevens.
Yeah. And we'll take one step further than that. You know who's the assistant coach on that Center College team?
Who's that?
Happy Chandler.
Okay.
Spent 1 year there before delving into the politics.
Stevens going to hit this one over to Bennett at shortstop, and the throw over to first. Did he get him?
Yeah, he got him.
Yes, he did. The ball came out of the first baseman's mitt there, Arflack, and I wasn't sure if the umpire was going to ring him up or not because where the ball came out of his glove. But
well, he was trying to pick it out, and that's what he reaching in with the bare hand. That's where he got the out signal.
Only the second out here in the top of the first for LCA, and now Nick Hostetter going to step up to the plate. Another right-handed batter here in the lineup for the Eagles. Drew Schott, been the only left-handed hitter we saw so far.
Mm-hmm. Schott going, of course, to center. Here's the other thing, too, and Gary kind of pointed this out, and I've been noticing as we came down the batting order here. LCA very aggressive when the ball's in the strike zone. They've all swung at that pitch if it's been the first pitch in the strike zone.
Look, these guys know how to hit. I'm telling you, 176 runs scored on the season. That's not too bad.
You know, and you look at anybody in the 11th region, who you play in this region, and you score some runs like that, you're doing some serious things. They called another balk on Graves.
Another balk, yes, sir.
You can tell the young man is a little rattled right now. Body language and everything like that.
So Hunter Wills going to head over to third base for LCA. And Ty Stevens, he got out, and Nick Hostetter here at the plate. So here's the pitch to Hostetter. Outside corner, a strike. 0-2 the count. Big pitch coming up here for Graves. Needs to get out of a bind. Taking his time. We understand light rain going to be moving in the area here soon.
Well, it was spitting a little bit when it came in a while ago. So
that pitch outside a ball.
Now you said that four-letter word, rain.
1-2 the count.
That's a bad jinx on the ball game.
We've been expecting it all day. Clouds here at the ball field. The wind dead here at the ball field as well, as that one's fouled straight back. The flag in center field just hanging straight down.
It's the first time all day it's really done that, too.
Yep. 1-2 the count here at the plate to Hostetter. Should he get on? The young man waiting on deck is Nelson Lane for the Eagles, the designated hitter. 2-2. Big pitch from Graves. This one sent out down the third base line, well foul. Hostetter turned on that one.
Yeah, I was talking in the first game, too, William. We look down the left field line. That's going to be interesting for all these guys who have not played here before. I don't know if Western Hills has played at Henry Clay this year or even last year with the older guys, but going up that hill in the left field foul territory is going to be an adventure.
That pitch upstairs and inside. We go full here. 3-2. Again, Wills over there at third base for LCA. He had an RBI single. There's a walk here at the plate to Hostetter. So Nelson Lane, the last hitter in the lineup for the Eagles, going to step up to the plate.
Graves was ahead, a ball and 2 strikes, and a couple of really nice pitches spoiled by Hostetter, but a nice at bat.
You got to like the patience of Hostetter waiting on his right pitch. And fouled anything close off, but in the end he was walked.
Well, here in the bottom of this order, Graves just needs to be aggressive and go right at the hitter instead of trying to nibble.
Eagles on top, 4-0. Runners on the corners, 2 out. Top of the first inning of play. That pitch misses down low, a ball. 1-0 the count here to Nelson Lane. Wind picking up just a little bit now. Is Graves. Connor Graves on the mound for Western Hills. That one fouled out into the parking lot. Lane didn't really get a good swing on that one.
Tell you, we've already got another semi-upset in the 16th.
What do we got?
Looks like Greenup County 11-1 over Blazer in 5 innings.
That pitch, bottom foul out of that, but not over the plate as that one's inside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Nelson Lane, the designated hitter today for the Eagles, batting last in the lineup. Should he get on, Jackson Blair waiting on deck. That pitch outside. 3 balls and a strike. Again, runners on the corners for the Eagles. Lane, he's going to hit one back up the middle. The shortstop there, Bennett, makes the play as he flips over to second to Jackson, and that's going to do it for the Eagles. 4 runs cross the plate, though, however. Western Hills coming up to the plate next as we're going to have 1, 2, 3 due up. It's Thomas Bennett, Parker Johnson, Jesse Howard for Western Hills. You're watching high school baseball, the 11th Region Baseball Tournament, right here on PrepSpin.com.
The Kentucky Center for Orthodontics, home of Doctors Durbin, Wong, and Gardner, is now Clear Choice Orthodontics. Why the name change, you ask? Well, we believe that there's only one choice for all your orthodontics needs, and that choice is clear. Clear Choice Orthodontics. We offer a unique level of care for each smile in your family. We also feature the latest in Invisalign technology and Invisalign Teen. Put our award-winning experience to work for you. For a lifetime of beautiful smiles, come visit the most outstanding orthodontist in Kentucky, Clear Choice Orthodontics, home of Doctors Durbin, Wong, and Gardner.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Over 30,000 Kentuckians are saving time and money by doing their banking online with Whitaker Electronic Banking.
341,000 transactions were made on the go last year using the Whitaker Bank mobile app. Over 340,000 text alerts were sent last year with Whitaker Bank text banking.
We share your passion, Kentucky. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
William Warfield alongside Darren Douglas as LCA leads the ball game 4-0. We go into the bottom of the first inning of play. 1-2-3 due up here for Western Hills. Bennett, Johnson, and Howard as the light rain starts to fall here at the ballpark. We'll give you the Lexington Christian defense here as Aaron Miley on the mound for the Eagles. Will's going to be behind the plate. Barker over at first base. Robbie Stevens over there at shortstop. We're up at third base. Blair in left field. Schott in center field. And Ty Stevens over in right field. The count at the plate here to Bennett. 1-1. Pitch. That one outside. Miley a little wild on that one.
Yeah, Bennett's a pretty popular name down there in Frankfort. I'm wondering if he's the son of a guy I played against, and doesn't act like him. He's not as high strung as my friend is, but pretty good leadoff hitter. He's got a really good eye that really making the LCA pitcher work, get him strike. But when you're down 4 runs, you get some runners early, and maybe get a run or two back right here in the bottom of this inning.
By the way, Hostetter out there at second base for the Eagles as Bennett going to draw a walk here to lead things off for Western Hills. So here's Parker Johnson up to the plate. Johnson, make that Jackson, excuse me, my apologies. Parker Jackson playing second base for Western Hills.
If you're Miley, that's not what you want to do. You don't want to walk the leadoff man in the bottom of the inning when your team got you 4 runs in the top half of the inning. Just sit back there, throw strikes, throw right to your catcher.
Miley fired that one over to first base as Bennett getting a nice lead over there. That pitch to the plate in there for a strike. 1-1 the count to Parker Jackson. Western Hills wearing those dark green pullovers there. White pants. That one swung on and missed. Nasty pitch delivered there by Miley. Aaron Miley standing out there on the mound, about 5'10". Probably around 180, I would imagine. Turns and throws over to first. Back in time, Bennett.
I'll guess heights, but I'm not going to try to guess a kid's weight. That's a little dangerous for me to do.
He's a good-looking kid out there on the mound for
got really nice mechanics.
He just brought the heat to the plate. Jackson sets down. And that's going to bring up Jesse Howard. Howard, the catcher, batting in a third spot today for Western Hills. Well, that's a beautiful ball field over at Western Hills if you've ever been.
Been there. Regional was there. I've done a couple of regular season games as well as a district game tournament there. And really pretty area down in that part of the area, right behind the football stadium. I actually saw a young man hit the football press box with a home run.
I think somebody from Scott County did that a few years ago as well.
But the boy was a big boy, too.
I think I saw Mike Ritchie over there, and one of his pitchers gave that up.
That could have been Mike Ritchie. That could have been Mike Ritchie to hit that home run over there.
There's one out to the gap is cutting it off out there in left field is Blair, but a nice piece of hitting at the plate there by Howard.
Yeah, you said nice piece of hitting. It didn't sound really crisp off the bat, but it really probably was one of those balls where you got jammed and just had enough strength to muscle it out there into left center field.
Corey Spartman coming over to first base to courtesy run for the catcher Howard, and that's going to bring up Luke Wheatley to the plate.
You must have been listening to me in game one. I don't like the term speed up runner because usually it's for the catcher, and usually the catcher is one of those guys that does not have very good speed generally.
Well, here's Luke Wheatley at the plate. Darren Douglas says he's going to take his first pitch from Miley, but he's going to have to wait a second as Miley steps off the mound.
Yeah, I don't think Miley was sure of the signal he got from his catcher with the runner at second base. So he wanted to make sure what sign they were using as they'll run through a series of signs with the runner on second.
Wheatley digging back in. Big right-handed batter here for Western Hills. Runners on first and second for the Wolverines. That one skips past Wills at the plate, and advancing 90 feet each is going to be Bennett and Howard. Well, Howard's courtesy runner, that is. Again, that's 24 out there. That's Corey Sparkman running in place of Howard. Howard headed back over to the dugout. He's got to put his catcher's gear back on.
And it does. It speeds up the game a lot more significantly, trying to keep the catcher and the pitcher off the base paths as much as possible, so they can get especially the catcher, so they can get that equipment on.
Wheatley takes that pitch upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes here at the plate. The pitch, that one's shot out to center field. Going back is Drew Schott. He's got his back to the infield. That one off the wall. Coming in to score is going to be Bennett. Howard right behind him. Sparkman, right behind him. And Wolverines up on the board with the 2 RBI double by Wheatley.
We could have an offensive slugfest here, the way these two have started off in the first inning, but it's never a good sign when an outfielder immediately turns his back and you see his numbers clear as day. If you can see the numbers on the back of the jersey, it's not a good sign. It means he's been burned and he knows it.
4-2 our score here. Bottom of the first inning of play, only 1 out. Western Hills continues to bat here. Arflak's going to hit this one. Nice play by Hostetter. Turns, fires to first. Got his man, but advancing over to third base is Wheatley.
Boy, Hostetter cut that thing off in the hole up the middle and planted that right foot. And no sooner had that right foot planted firmly on the ground, he let it fly. And nice play by the second baseman showing his range there.
Covered a lot of ground on that play. Here's Tyler Anglin stepping up to the plate. The pitch, Wills, curveball, catches that corner on the outside edge.
Well, that was a slow breaking pitch, and tough to stay back and wait on that.
It sure was. Runner on third base for Western Hills. That ball flied up on the infield, popped up on the infield, and coming in. Oh, and he drops the baseball. Rupp had it measured out. Boy, he pinched a tent there and could have camped out for a couple days, but when that ball came down, came out of his glove. So
hit him on the heel of the glove. And for all the really young players out there watching this afternoon, keep that bare hand up there to help you out a little bit too. And good news is for Rupp, it even happens for the guys who get paid to play.
Yes, sir. Cameron Barton stepping up to the plate now. 4-3 our score. Eagles holding on to a 1-run lead right now as Barton digs back in. He's looking at a count 0-1 to him. England over on first base. That's an error on the third baseman, Rupp, so that's how England got on. That pitch inside but fouled off.
And no RBI either on that play for England. But, if you're Western Hills, Coach Chisholm, you've got to be ecstatic with your ball club. You come back, giving up 4 runs at the top of the inning. You come back and you got 3 of your own in the bottom half.
Miley delivers that pitch outside for another ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count here to Barton. Wind picking up just slightly. The umbrella is starting to come out again here at the ballpark. That pitch, there's a shot over to Stevens. He takes it on a large pop there. Almost got over his head, but Stevens with a quick reaction flips over to second to Hostetter, and that's going to do it for Western Hills. But Western Hills, they scored 3 runs there in the bottom of the first inning of play. We got us a ball game here at Chuck Stivers Field on the campus of Henry Clay High School. This 11th region tournament. 4-3 our score. Eagles with a lead. They're trying to add some insurance runs to that lead as soon as we come back. We're going to have the top of the lineup up to the plate. Blair, Schott, and Barker due up. You're watching high school baseball right here on PrepSpin.com.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Over 30,000 Kentuckians are saving time and money by doing their banking online with Whitaker Banking.
341,000 transactions were made on the go last year using the Whitaker Bank mobile app.
Over 340,000 text alerts last year with Whitaker Banking.
Passion. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
We return back here to the ball field as LCA leading 4-3 over Western Hills. 3 runs across the plate for the Wolverines in the bottom of the first, 4 across the plate for the Eagles in the top of the first. And we got a new pitcher on the mound for Western Hills.
Yeah, Logan Etherington. Big right-hander for Western Hills on the mound. Actually, I say big right-hander. He looked bigger when he's turned to the side there. Looks about probably 5'9", 5'10", maybe 5'11". Young man. Looks like he got a really good breaking ball. It goes 12-6. So we'll see how LCA deals with the new right-hander on the mound for Western Hills.
Well, we'll see how he does as we're getting ready to have our first batter here. Stepping up for LCA in the top of the second inning of play, Jackson Blair. Eagles batted around. They went 1 through 9 there, and they're in the top of the first. As we begin the top of the second, let's see if the Eagles can do the same thing.
Well, you know, Etherington's job right now is to go as long as he can go. They expected Grays to give him maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 innings, but he was unable to get out. Was able to get out of the first inning with 4 runs. Then his team came back and got 3 runs at the bottom of the inning, so that helps Western Hills' problems out a little bit.
That pitch inside the ball to Blair. Blair's last at bat drew a base on balls for a walk to start things off. Takes a big swing of this one. 1-1 to count.
Got a couple other scores. One really good one to report. West Jessamine 8, Pulaski County 1. West Jessamine might be the best team in the 12th region.
West Jessamine will play Southwestern tomorrow at 6 p.m. That's going to, Southwestern's beat West Jessamine out of the region 2 years in a row.
I think they knocked them off this year on the road in the regular season, too, did Southwestern.
2-1 the count here at the plate. Blair fouls this one straight back. Howard giving chase. No room, though, so he runs out of real estate.
Bourbon County 5, Bracken County 1.
We got some sponsors we need to mention as well. And, of course, our network sponsored the Kentucky Center for Orthodontics, which is now Clear Choice Orthodontics, home of Doctors Durbin, Long, and Gardner. I want to thank them for all that they do. We also want to thank Rebound Orthopedics. I thank them for all they do, especially during Lexington Christian Academy games.
I've heard good things about Dr. Lyon. Thank goodness I hadn't been hurt bad enough to go see an orthopedic, but a lot of people would question whether I've been hurt bad enough or not.
2 balls, 2 strikes at the plate here to Jackson Blair.
We also have Scott County's Public Library and Scott County Physical Therapy.
That ball skips past Howard behind the plate.
And, William, did they get a trivia question in last game?
Oh, I'm not sure, but we got a full count here at the plate.
Okay.
Let's hear one.
Well, we'll give it to you. We'll give you 2 if they didn't give you one in the last game. But that's brought to you by Madison's on Main, a nice family restaurant down in downtown Versailles. Can't find it, just look straight across from the courthouse. Easy to find.
That ball pulled into the parking lot here at Henry Clay High School.
And when you go down to Madison's on Main, make sure you mention Darren sent you to Andrea, the owner, or Mindy, one of the fine servers there.
All right.
They'll take good care of you if you mention my name.
Count still full here at the plate. That one on the outside corner, boy. The umpire might have been lenient there. Is that one.
Good location, though, down and away from Blair. Blair may be looking for something from the middle of the plate in, and Etherington went down and away. May have gotten the benefit of being just a little bit off the outside of the plate, but a really good pitcher's pitch.
It was a good setup pitch, no doubt about that. And Blair started across the plate, and you just don't do that on any umpire.
No.
Shot.
Yeah,
step up to the plate.
Umpires will look at you and go, So it may not be a good thing, but
Shot had a base hit his last at bat. One down here in the top of the second inning of play. 4-3, LCA with the lead right now over Western Hills. William Warfield alongside Darren Douglas. Gary Ball sitting in, producing for us today as well.
Well, that's the 38th strikeout of the year for
we got
Etherington.
stats.
Yeah, Etherington right now is thrown 45 and 2/3 innings. He's thrown 311 balls, 482 strikes, giving up 47 runs, 33 of them earned, 5.06 earned run average. So his earned run average is up, but he made some really nice quality pitches to the first batter he faced during the second.
2 balls and a strike here at the plate to Schott. He squares around the bunt, pulls it back quickly as that pitch outside and high. 3-1 now the count.
As you mentioned, Schott going to Center College. You know, I tell you what, these smaller school colleges in the area are really, really starting to pick up some really quality talent that maybe not going to the bigger schools, but keeping them closer here to home.
Schott looks at that pitch, strike on the outside corner. The count goes full.
You know, you have Transylvania well represented. You have Center College. Georgetown's got a couple of guys signed out of this year's bunch, not to mention the guys that have gone in the last 2 or 3 years to these local colleges.
Schott's going to be on base for the second time today as he draws a walk. That's going to bring up Andrew Barker. Barker with an RBI single his last at bat, got things going for LCA.
You know, Coach Willard from Scott County was talking about Gage Beavers. I just noticed earlier today he was down there to the left, one of the most quiet catchers sitting behind the plate. You know, you get catchers back there kind of move around, even when the pitcher in his motion coming to the plate. Beavers would just sit there, get to his target spot, and just sit there, and it had to be a joy as a pitcher to throw to him.
Barker hits this one deep down left field,
I'll
but
keep
foul.
the ticket workers alive down there on the left field line. That gate down there, they're down there just
you got
talking up a storm down there.
Check out this, the crowd here. You got people all around the field here. Even in the outfield, we see a couple people, but all the way down right field, down the first baseline.
Well, they're hanging out down by the grill down there.
Down that fence line.
Now they're hanging out down by a grill down there.
You get good food.
They learned where the food was, yeah.
You want the sponsor list? Okay, I'm right. The only one I don't know is the name of that one you ate.
0-2 the count here at the plate to Barker. That pitch outside.
No, it was a bluegrass orthodontist.
So the count 1-2. Getting one down here in the top of the second inning of play. Drew Schott over at first base for the Eagles. Western Hills trailing LCA 4-3, and that was a nice pitch there by Logan Etherington. So,
you know, I just got a text message from a friend of mine. He said, Darren, on your Facebook page, you promised to keep us updated on the girls' softball, 11th region from Dunbar. One final score from over there was Dunbar 9, Model 3.
All right.
No surprise there.
Frederick Rupp going to step back up to the plate. He had a double his first at bat. Drew Schott over at first base, getting a nice lead for the Eagles. This Etherington kid that's came out on the mound, boy, he's got some college scouts looking at him as Rupp hits one that's just past the third baseman, taking third, a shot all the way from first, and we got runners on the corners again for the Eagles.
Nice job of hit and run, shot off and moving on the pitch. Good job of taking the ball on the inside part of the plate and driving it down the third baseline.
Well, the last name Rupp, of course, is associated with Adolph Rupp, and of course that's his great-grandson out there.
Wow.
And instead of basketball, the young man chose baseball.
Well, it doesn't look like he's going to be the height-wise to play basketball, but what a guy that can, with a name like that you can pull on. You know, I mean, it doesn't matter what sport you're playing. If you can pull on that kind of legacy, then you're going to be much, much better off.
Here's Stevens. He had a sacrifice fly his first at bat. And we got another balk in the ballgame. That's the third today given up by Western Hills balk-wise.
Yeah, that looked really funny. And I think he was trying to slide step, and he didn't get really his momentum going towards the plate. And Coach Drew Chisholm coming out to talk to the third base umpire. But that looked really odd to me too. And I don't know what the call. But I don't know. It looked really funny with his move to the plate, and when it looks funny, it's going to get called a balk. But
we're up in at second base, coming around the score there from third base is going to be Drew Schott. So LCA leading the ball game 5-3 here in Lexington. Again, we're at Henry Clay High School, the site of the 2015 11th Region Baseball Championship Tournament.
Yeah, that's the fourth balk we've had called in the game. I don't know if there was one in the Western Hill or the Madison Central.
Fourth today, third in this ball game.
Yeah, we have one in the that was almost really critical in the Sayre Lafayette game.
The officials are balk happy today as Stevens going to step up to the plate. Robbie Stevens getting that sacrifice fly. His last at bat, move the runners up. Pitch by Etherton, and Stevens going to put down a bunt here. He's going to move Rupp over to third, and he's safe at first base. Nice piece of hitting there by Stevens.
Well, Etherington got off the mound in good shape. When he tried to pick up the baseball, he went with the glove hand, then to reach into the glove with the bare hand, it rolled up on his wrist. Might have liked to see Etherington come down with the bare hand and pick that thing up because it was rolling slow enough where he could have probably done that.
Well, here's Hunter Wills going to step back up. Now, he had an RBI single his last at-bat, his only at-bat in this ball game, an RBI single. Again, folks, we're just in the top of the second inning of play. 5-3 our score. LCA with the lead. Wills digging in. Runners on the corners. There's a runner on base, and he's easily in there, even though the pickoff play was going on. Etherington just didn't get it over to first quick enough.
Wow. He was off and running. Nobody said anything for Western Hills. Let him know the runner taking off for first.
Robbie Stevens got a big jump on Logan Etherington. So now runners on second and third for the Eagles. Will is going to step out of the batter's box.
And you want to talk about aggressive. The first five guys, very aggressive. I mean, the run from first was about, 6-7 steps off and running towards second before Etherington ever came into a set position.
It's a great group that LCA has here this season. Again, the All-A Classic State champions, and with their record of 24-11 on the season. Now, they are in the toughest district in the state, in my opinion, and then the toughest region in the state, in my opinion.
Well, from top to bottom, there's about anybody can win this thing on a given year. Now, we've had dominant teams, don't get me wrong, but there's been teams coming here that weren't expected to win.
There's a shout out to Emberton over in right field, but coming out there, Jackson making the play. So that's going to do it for the Eagles. However, another run crosses the plate for LCA. They lead the ball game 5-3 as we head into the bottom of the second inning of play here in Lexington, Henry Clay High School. It's going to be Barton, Graves, and Emberton due up for the Wolverines when we return. You're listening and watching high school baseball right here on PrepSpin.com.
The Kentucky Center for Orthodontics, home of Doctors Durbin, Wong, and Gardner, is now Clear Choice Orthodontics. Why the name change, you ask? Well, we believe that there's only one choice for all your orthodontics needs, and that choice is clear. Clear Choice Orthodontics. We offer a unique level of care for each smile in your family. We also feature the latest in Invisalign technology and Invisalign Teen. Put our award-winning experience to work for you. For a lifetime of beautiful smiles, come visit the most outstanding orthodontist in Kentucky, Clear Choice Orthodontics, home of Doctors Durbin, Wong, and Gardner.
Welcome back to Chuck Stivers Field. William Warfield alongside Darren Douglas here at the ballpark, where the Lexington Christian Academy Eagles on top right now 5-3 as we head into the bottom of the second inning of play. And looks like going to step up to the plate, Darren Douglas. Looks like we got number 35. Who's that guy?
That's Etherington.
Is that Etherington? So Etherington is going to step up to the plate.
Batting in the place of
Connor
Graves.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So just a straight switch on the pitching change.
So we'll write that down. It's going to be Etherington, followed by Emberton, and then Bennett. So here's Etherington, Logan Etherington stepping up to the plate here for Western Hills to start the bottom of the second inning of play. That pitch on the outside corner. Miley painting the pitcher out there on the mound right now.
Good fastball to start off Etherington with here in the second.
Etherington back in, big right-handed batter. Right-handed pitcher on the mound for LCA. That pitch misses outside the ball. 1-1 to count. Again, Teddy Emberton waiting on deck for Western Hills. And we got timeout called here at the plate as the home plate umpire looking over there in the crowd for some reason. There's a photographer over there that was beyond his boundary, I believe.
Actually, he just climbed up in there as he said we were ready for play again. I think somebody might have been chirping from the Western Hills dugout.
1-2 the count here at the plate to Etherington. He fouls this one off, so he'll have another crack at it. Again, earlier today we had Madison Central moving on. They defeated Woodford County. Then Sayre with a big upset this morning in game number 1 as they defeated Lafayette.
Well, they'd been beaten 7 or 8 runs earlier in the year by Lafayette, but, boy, they just hung around, and you can't say enough about Elias, the job he did for Sayre on the mound and getting the complete game win, and he's 3 for 4 from the
shot over there to
Hostetter.
Hostetter picks up, fires to first, and that's going to retire Etherington. Sorry about that, Darren Douglas.
That's all right. But, that's the beauty about this tournament. I mean, all 8 teams who make it to this region, I don't care what your record is. I don't care what kind of season you've had up until then. It could have been up and down. You could have won 10 in a row or lost 10 in a row coming in. If you put things together, pitch well, get timely hits, and defend behind your pitcher, you got a shot.
Emberton takes that first pitch out there from Miley, fouls it straight back. 0-1 to count. Teddy Emberton going to dig back in, left-handed hitter, the last hitter in the lineup for Western Hills. I was
same
thinking
district,
Woodford County,
same district.
But absolutely, Western Hills. Teddy Emberton digging back in here, 1-1 to count. Miley's offering that one waved at by Emberton as Miley took a lot off of that pitch.
Well, and I will tell you this, too. There is a Woodford County connection with Western Hills, besides being in the same district. The head coach, Drew Chisholm, played and graduated as an alum from Woodford County.
Gotcha.
So there's your connection.
Another strikeout in the ball game. That's the second one today for Miley. And Bennett back to the top of the lineup here for the Wolverines. Going to step up to the plate. He had a walk his first at bat. He kind of got the things going, for Western Hills.
Well, that's what your leadoff man's supposed to do. Get on base anywhere he can, set the table for 2, 3, and 4 coming behind him, and did a nice job of doing that and got Western Hills on the board. And
slow curve there, misses outside. 1-0 the count here to Bennett. That pitch in there for a strike as Miley brings the heat on the outside corner. Again, 5-3 right now. Lexington Christian Academy Eagles. They have the lead. As Bennett going to dig back in. That last pitch went all the way to the backstop as Miley a little bit happy out there on the mound. He's feeling it today, I think, Darren.
He is, and the thing is, once you get in a zone as a pitcher, and you start throwing all your pitches for strikes or where you want them, then you can start to feel a bit. It's okay to show some emotion on the mound as a pitcher.
That pitch right down the pike. 2-2 the count. Setup pitch is a good idea, as you heard from the crowd.
Yeah, I agree with that. Really nice pitch on the outside.
Full count.
Just didn't get Bennett to chase.
Bennett with the patience at the plate. And another pitch, about the same location. Bennett again did not chase it, so another base on balls there for Bennett, and here comes Parker Jackson back up to the plate.
That's the second walk for Miley, and Bennett again. Here's the thing with Bennett: you got to watch him because he's been dancing around on first when he was on there in the bottom of the inning. The first, he's probably their biggest threat to steal for Western Hills.
Well, Parker Jackson back up to the plate. He struck out his first at bat. This time he's going to get hit by a pitch.
Taking one for the team there.
Kind of leaned into that one a little bit, taking it for the team. Runners on first and second for the Wolverines, and Jesse Howard going to step back up to the plate. Now, Howard, he had a base hit his first at bat.
Yep, nice solid single right back up the middle, and as a true baseball player. Jackson doesn't rub the shoulder when he goes down to first, although it may be smarting a little bit. Of course, now it's not taking one in the back or the backside from a Rawless Chapman either, but still stings a little bit.
Howard going to take his time as he looks down to the third base coach's box.
Got another Sean Casey on our hands here, the human rain delay.
He's
you know what?
He's going to dig in there finally.
He
Still has his time called here.
Should have had his batting gloves on already if he's,
Miley checking the runner over at first and looking at second, and he hits a second batter in a row.
In the first game today, we saw the exact same type of pitch there with a batter being told he had to stay in the box and not get awarded first base because he didn't make an effort to get out of the way.
Well, bases are loaded here for Western Hills. We've had 2 hit by pitches and a base on balls consecutive here after the first 2 batters were retired. So here's Luke Wheatley. Now, Darren Douglas Wheatley had a double that scored 2 runs his last at bat.
And it was the same setup here, but now you get the bases full, whereas there was runners on first and second, and Sparkman was the runner on first who scored all the way from first on that play.
Well, Wheatley hit one off the center field wall out there his first at bat, got a double out of it.
And that's a
swings and misses this one.
You look at 370 right straight away center field, and that takes a little bit to get it out there.
And the ball's not carrying well at all.
It doesn't carry in this ballpark, but we've seen it do more with the wind blowing today.
0-2 at the plate here to Wheatley. Big pitch here from Miley. That went upstairs, gets past Wills. Wills going to fire to home and safe in there. Western Hills scores a run. That was a good base run in there by Bennett for Western Hills. Comes around from third to score.
Maybe trying to overthrow it. That one, he let that one go just a little bit high out of his release point, but good hustle by Bennett just to get under the tag from Miley, and both runners move up.
5-4 our score here at the ballpark. We're in the bottom of the second inning of play. There is 2 down here in the second inning. 1-2 the count here at the plate to Wheatley. And again, 5-4 our score in favor of Lexington Christian Academy. So Wheatley going to dig back in. Runners on second and third for Western Hills.
I'm going to amend what I said. I thought this might be ahead of field with 13-11 game. We might be go higher than that, 16-14, something like that.
This has been a battle so far.
So far. You got 9 runs scored between the 2 in the first inning, first couple innings here.
Miley working from the center of the rubber, and he throws a fastball right down the middle. And another strikeout in the ballgame. That was a big out right there for Miley on the mound for the Eagles as he strikes out Wheatley. And that's going to do it for Western Hills. But a run does cross the plate. 5-4 our score as we head into the top of the third inning of play. Eagles coming back up to the plate right after this. You're watching high school baseball right here on PrepSpin.com.
Summer Heroes Read. Summer reading kicks off at Scott County Public Library May the 31st. Don't miss superhero story times for children. For teens, check out the White Hat computer hacking class, supervillain costume party, and running the city police obstacle course. Adults enjoy free Wi-Fi, computer access, books, movies, and music. Relax and recharge at the Scott County Public Library. Check us out at www.scottpublilive.org.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Whitaker Bank supports 496 Kentucky schools.
Over 282,000 students benefit from Whitaker Bank's Kentucky education initiatives.
Whitaker Bank has contributed almost $441,000 to education programs for the advancement of Kentucky's youth.
We share your passion, Kentucky.
Love the bank that loves you back.
Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
Top of the third here at Chuck Stivers Field on the campus of Henry Clay High School. It's the 11th Region Baseball Tournament right here on PrepSpin.com. William Warfield alongside Darren Douglas. Gary Ball here as well producing for us today. Eagles stepping back up to the plate. There's a shot just past the third baseman. Over there on first is going to be Ty Stevens. Stevens going to go into second as well. So Stevens going to be on base with a double. Boy, he just didn't want to stop at first base, Darren Douglas.
Well, you talk about aggressiveness on the base pass. A good throw from Barton out of left, though, would have made that very interesting at second base.
Nick Hostetter going to step back up to the plate. A base on balls his last at bat. Stevens out there at second base, getting things started quickly here for LCA in the top of the third inning of play. 5-4 our score. Eagles with the lead. Bunt fouled straight back. Good attempt there by Howard. You gotta like his hustle behind the plate.
Well, you would trying to think now as we play give and take here.
Stevens out there on second base, getting a nice lead for the Eagles.
There's not a whole lot of room in this corner for us big guys over here. You know what I'm saying?
Logan Etherington on the mound for the Wolverines, checking the runner out there in Stevens. There's the pitch to the plate. The bunt fouled by Hostetter.
That's a good coaching point right there, William. Hostetter tried to follow the breaking pitch up from up in the strike zone down, and he dropped the head of the bat down below the knob of the bat. If you're going to bunt, you got to keep the head of the bat or the barrel of the bat above the handle or the knob. Makes it easier to control the ball.
Hostetter going to dig back in from the right side. Waiting on deck, Jackson Blair for the Eagles. Etherington checking the runner, delivers the pitch upstairs for a ball. 1-2 the count here at the plate to Hostetter. Nelson Lane, waiting on deck for LCA. Do want to give thanks to some of our sponsors. Rebound Orthopedics, Dr. Lyon over there in Frankfort. Scott County Physical Therapy, want to thank them. Scott County Public Library. Clear Choice Orthodontics, home of Doctors Durbin, Wong, and Gardner's. This one sent out to right field. Emberton waiting on it. He catches, makes the play. No tag out there from Stevens on second base. And here comes Nelson Lane up to the plate for LCA. So fly out from Hostetter, and Nelson Lane going to dig in here from the left side.
Yes, Stevens was actually bluffing to go, and I wouldn't be surprised if he'd tried it one time.
I want to thank Whitaker Bank as well. Whitaker Bank with many locations for you to choose from throughout Central Kentucky. Nelson Lane digging in. Stevens out there on second. Etherington, the pitch to the plate. It's up high, a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Again, 1 down. Top of the third inning of play here in Lexington at Henry Clay High School. Etherington taking his time, going through the signs with Howard. Howard going to set up on the inside as Lane waves his wand at the plate. And that pitch down low. 2 balls, no strike to count here to Lane. Base hit could get an insurance run across the plate for the Eagles.
Well, we're still early in this thing. I mean, a run or two here just going to put more pressure on Western Hills to answer in the bottom half of their inning. But the Wolverines, their credit's been showing they can.
That pitch in there for a strike. Big pitch there from Etherington. Crowd continues to grow here at Henry Clay High School.
Just a little bit, doesn't it?
Some of the fans for the next game starting to come here. Talking about the Henry Clay fans starting to show up.
Yeah, that's when you get the home team to play. Then,
of course, Madison Central fans stuck around as well. They
stick around for everything.
This one in.
Win, lose, or draw, they stick around for everything.
It's a good scouting opportunity for the lower half of the bracket. There's a shot out to right field. Going back out there is Emberton. He's going to make the play on the warning track. Nice catch. Tagging from second, going into third is going to be Stevens. So Stevens over at third base for the Eagles. 2 down here in the top of the third, but what a ride what a catch out there, Emberton in right field.
He was headed towards the line, a pretty good outfielder in his day and time. John Shelby's jersey hanging out there. Sophomore out in right field. Tell you what, everybody thinks that Sayre game was an upset. It was a mild upset. They've got a really good ball club. They're young. 1 senior on the team, the rest of them juniors and under.
Jackson Blair going to step up to the plate for LCA. Nelson Lane gave that ball a ride. Any other ballpark, they might have had an opportunity to be out.
Well, I can think of one in the region it may not have been.
Well, it's 3:30 down the line here at Henry Clay.
Yeah.
Most parks are 3:05 down the line, Darren.
It's 3:30 down on both lines in Chandler Field in Versailles. That park plays huge.
Mm-hmm. There's the pitch by Etherington. This one fouled out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike to count here at the plate to the leadoff hitter, Jackson Blair. Base on balls and a strikeout today. I want to send a shout out to Lexington Christian Academy's athletic director, Terry Johnson, who happens to be watching today on his smartphone. The pitch, this one hit in front of the plate. A fire over to third as the pitcher Etherington comes off the mound. And that's what I was thinking. I thought it was a foul ball myself here, and they're going to bring the –
Well, it sounded like a double contact, to be honest with you.
Well, no, it hit off his shin is what it did.
Really?
Yeah, he swung. Of course, he made contact with the bat, but it came straight down off the shin. And so Blair will be back at the plate here for LCA. Again, over at third base is Ty Stevens for the Eagles. At the plate, Jackson Blair. Logan Etherington on the mound for the Wolverines. Taking his time. There's the pitch. This one popped up. In play is the catcher, Howard. Does make the play there, so the Eagles leave 1 on the bases. No runs cross the plate there in the top of the third. We're going to head to the bottom of the third here at Chuck Shivers Field. William Warfield alongside Darren Douglas, and we'll bring you the bottom of the third coming up next. Wolverines up to bat. You're listening and watching high school baseball right here on PrepSpin.com.
Scott County Physical Therapy is a privately owned physical therapy practice specializing in outpatient orthopedics, sports and industrial rehab, neurological rehabilitation, low back pain, neck pain, and arthritic conditions. Our mission is to provide the highest quality physical therapy to assist each individual and the community at large. Scott County Physical Therapy, a journey to wellness. To contact the physical therapist and Scott County Physical Therapy, please dial 502-863-4242. Scott County Physical Therapy is the title sponsor for Scott County Athletics.
The Kentucky Center for Orthodontics, home of Doctors Durbin, Wong, and Gardner, is now Clear Choice Orthodontics. Why the name change, you ask? Well, we believe that there's only one choice for all your orthodontics needs, and that choice is clear. Clear Choice Orthodontics. We offer a unique level of care for each smile in your family. We also feature the latest in Invisalign technology and Invisalign Teen. Put our award-winning experience to work for you. For a lifetime of beautiful smiles, come visit the most outstanding orthodontist in Kentucky, Clear Choice Orthodontics, home of Doctors Durbin, Wong, and Gardner.
Arflak takes the first pitch, fouls it off, 0-1 to count. The second offering, Arflak sends this one deep to right field. Going over there, giving chase for it is Ty Stevens, but that one well foul. So 0-2 the count here to Arflak at the plate. Getting LCA leading the ball game 5-4 as we are in the bottom of the third inning of play here. And a big strikeout, nice strikeout there by Aaron Miley. Arflak retired.
Nice little slider, diving right at the back foot of the left-handed hitter, Arflak.
Tyler England going to step up to the plate now for the Wolverines. England reached base on an error on the third baseman, Rupp, his first at bat. There's the pitch, a swing and a miss.
We got those two scores that we were wanting. Scott County 10-1 over Western Hills in the girls regional, and Whitford County likewise 10-1 in their game over Henry Clay. And Scott County defending champ Whitford and the Cardinals headed to a head-on collision, maybe in the championship game over there in Dunbar.
Congratulations to those teams that advanced. There's a chopper. It's going to be sent over to Robbie Stevens. No, the third baseman, Rupp, comes over, fires to first. What a play. He stepped in front of his own teammate, Robbie Stevens, who could have quickly and easily made that play, but Rupp says, no, I got this, dog.
They teach you on the left side of the infield, the ball's chopped like that. If you can get to it as a third baseman to cut it off, you might have a better shot at getting the runner at first because of the depth that the shortstop's playing. But you're right, Stevens could have probably made the play just as well.
It's going to bring up to the plate Bartlin. And Barton looks at a first pitch in there for a strike. 0-1 to count. 2 out here in the bottom of the third. What a play by Rupp. This one going to be tapper over there to Barker. Barker's got it. He's going to handle it and touch the bag. And that's going to do it for the Wolverines. 1, 2, 3. Go the Wolverines in the bottom of the third. Hey, we're going to head to the top of the fourth here at Henry Clay High School. Beautiful Chuck Stivers Field. And we'll bring you to the top of the fourth coming up here shortly. You're watching high school baseball right here on PrepSpin.com.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Whitaker Bank supports 496 Kentucky schools.
Over 282,000 students benefit from Whitaker Bank's Kentucky education initiatives.
Whitaker Bank has contributed almost $441,000 to education programs for the advancement of Kentucky's youth.
We share your passion, Kentucky.
Love the bank that loves you back.
Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
Summer Heroes Read. Summer reading kicks off at Scott County Public Library May the 31st. Don't miss superhero story times for children. For teens, check out the White Hat computer hacking class, supervillain costume party, and running the city police obstacle course. Adults enjoy free Wi-Fi, computer access, books, movies, and music. Relax and recharge at the Scott County Public Library. Check us out at www.scottpublib.org.
We head to the top of the fourth here at the ballpark. Again, William Warfield alongside Darren Douglas as Drew Schott going to step up to the plate here for LCA. It's going to be Schott, Barker, and Rupp due up for the Eagles. Logan Eddington out there on the mound for Western Hills. The pitch outside, a ball. Again, 5-4 our score. Eagles hanging on to a 1-run lead as this game moves right along. The pitch by Etherington in there for a strike. Schott kind of turned his back to the pitch, but umpire says no, that hit the corner on the inside there. 1-1 to count. That one going to be hit right back up the middle. It's going to be in there for a single. So Drew Schott back on. 2 base hits in the ball game now for Schott. He's reached base 3 times. He's also walked in the ball game, and now Andrew Barker going to step back up to the plate.
Well, exactly what you want to do with a pitch out away from you. Either go the opposite direction or take it right back up the middle, and that's exactly what Schott did.
Andrew Barker, he struck out his last at bat, but he's also got a base hit RBI in the ball game today for LCA. Etherington checking the runner. I thought he's going to snap throw down to first, but Howard decides not to. He gives it right back out there to Etherington.
As a catcher, sometimes you need to make sure your first baseman's aware.
Mm-hmm.
Had a catcher one time hit me dead in the head with a ball thrown down to first. I wasn't paying attention to him.
They're holding a shot on over there at first base, but there's a half swing at the plate. Barker, and the appeal down to first. They said he did not go, so 2 balls, no strikes.
And I know what's going through your head. That's what's wrong with you.
What's that?
No, that I got hit with a baseball. No. I was dealing with my mother. That's where I got that some of that problem with. But
there's a toss over to first base, back over there, Schott.
But back then I was in my own little world as a first baseman because I had a shortstop and second baseman that would sometimes hit me in the chest with a throw. The next time they throw one that would be 6 feet over my head, and I'd have to try to climb the ladder. And it's just that kind of stuff as a first baseman you deal with. So you're just kind of like a kicker on the football team. You're just in your own little world over there.
There's a base on balls.
Actually got hit by a pitch. His jersey got hit by the ball.
Darren, I think you were delivered in the floor.
No, I don't.
I don't think
my dad swears I'm down. I crawled out from under a rock. My dad, who's home watching us for the first time ever on computer. And I don't know how you can see it because he's slowly losing his eyesight. But
5-4 our score. Runners on first and second for the Eagles. At the plate here for LCA is Rupp. Rupp made a nice defensive play over at third base. Covered a lot of ground. And at the plate today, he's also got a base hit and a double in this one. His last one was a line drive just past the third baseman. So we'll see what he can do this time as Rupp digs back in. 1 ball, no strike to count. Edlington taking his time. He's going to look over at second, steps off the rubber. Edlington working from the right field side of the rubber with 2 guys on the base pads right now.
Well, we've seen a lot of right-handed pitchers do that. And usually if you have a big breaking ball, you might want to work from the middle or the third base side of the pitching rubber.
There's the bunt laid down by Rupp. Oh, it's a beauty. He may beat it out at first, and he does. Bases loaded for the Eagles.
Really nice bunt from Rupp, and I tell you what.
It's almost like he caught the baseball with the bat.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, too, he caught Wheatley playing deep and just dropped it down the third baseline. The only guy who can make the play was the pitcher, Etherington, and by the time he got to the ball, because it was bunted so well down the third base line, Rupp was already pretty much almost crossing the bag.
Robbie Stevens going to dig back in here for LCA. Base hit and the stolen bases last at bat. It's also has a sacrifice fly in the ball game for the Eagles. Takes that pitch down low. He's got a big opportunity for some RBIs here to Stevens.
Well, big moment in the game right here in the top of the 4th inning for LCA to put a little distance between themselves and Western Hills right here.
1 ball, no strike at the plate here to Robbie Stevens. The pitch. This one lifted out to left field. It's going to be trouble on the hill over there as it does land foul. No play. If that hill wasn't out there might have been an opportunity out there for Barton to get to it, but he kind of slowed him down as he was going up the hill.
Well, if you haven't played on this field before and you feel yourself moving upward, it means you're stepped across that left field foul stripe and you're headed up there. But every baseball field has their little nuances, and that's here at Stivers Field. That's one nuance it has.
It's a challenge. 1-1 to count. Rain starts to fall again here at the ballpark as Stevens going to hit this one out into right center field. Takes a 1-hop out there in front of Emberton. And an RBI for the Eagles. Bases stay loaded. Another run crosses the plate. 6-4 LCA with the lead.
I'll tell you what, the runner at second got a nice jump and a nice read off the soft line drive off the bat of Stevens. And people may have been wondering why Coach Galloway didn't send him. Well, nobody out. You don't want to make the first or the last out at either third or home.
Well, here's Hunter Wills going to dig back in here for LCA. Wills with an RBI single on the day. Let's see what Etherington can do here with bases loaded. Nobody out here for the Eagles.
And nobody in the bullpen for Western Hills either.
They had to take an official timeout. They had a 1-1 count up on the board that they needed to change. So that's all fixed now, and here we go. Etherington delivers just fouled down the third base line as Wills hit a hot shot down just foul. 0-1 to count. Is the umpire going to brush off the plate? Again, bases loaded here for LCA. The Eagles lead the ball game 6-4 here in the top of the 4th inning of play. Etherington, low kick. This one a chopper. It's going to be a tough play for Bennett. Bennett's going to pick up fire over to first. He does get Wills, but another run crosses the plate for the Eagles.
Ball not hit tough enough or strong enough for him to make a play at third. But he didn't have enough time to field it and throw it to first to get the out. So 1 out, but now you got 2 more runners in scoring position.
There's Ty Stevens going to come up to the plate. Ty, the brother of Robbie. There's Ty Stevens. He had a double his last at bat. Nick Hostetter waiting on deck. Ty Stevens at the plate. Runners on second and on third. That pitch hit far out to the left field. That ball going way back off the wall. Going into second is going to be Stevens coming around. 2 runs for the Eagles.
Boy, he got a hanging, breaking pitch and jumped all over it.
Crossing the plate was Wills and Stevens for LCA. Ty Stevens out there on second base, a 2 RBI double. 9-4, Eagles with the lead.
I tell you what, this ball club can hit.
They scored 4 runs in the first inning, 1 in the second, none in the third, and 4 now here in the top of the 4th inning of play. 9-4 our score. Eagles with the lead. That pitch upstairs, a ball. 1 ball, no strike to count here at the plate to Nick Hostetter. Hostetter, the fine second baseman for LCA. He flied out to right field his last at bat. He's also drawn a base on balls today. Stevens out there on second base for the Eagles as Etherington. That pitch down low. 2 balls, no strikes here at the plate. Wind died down here. Flags out in center field. Straight down right now. Umbrellas, you still see them out a little bit. Matter of fact, they just popped all at once out here at the ball field as light rain continues. It's almost like a drizzle. It's not really a light rain, is it? It's just like a drizzle.
Well, I got glasses on. I can't see it, so I don't know. I see the umbrellas out, but
2 balls and a strike. 1 down. Top of the 4th inning of play. LCA with the lead, 9-4 as we got time called behind the plate.
Well, I can tell you one thing. It feels a little cooler up here in the press box than it did at the 10 o'clock game this morning. A little warmer. Kind of cooled off a little bit in game number 2, I was told. But
well, Darren, while we got a second as that pitch misses down low, 3-1 the count. I want to thank Rebound Orthopedics, Dr. Lyon over in Frankfort. I want to thank him for all he does. Scott County Physical Therapy, also Scott County Public Library. Clear Choice Orthodontics, home of Doctors Durbin, Wong, and Gardner in Whitaker Bank. I want to thank them. And, Darren, you got a sponsor as well as taking third over there, Stevens.
Madison's on Main in downtown Versailles. Really nice little restaurant. I can tell you what, I can recommend about everything on the menu. And no, I didn't have it in one sitting, but I had meatloaf the other day for lunch and enjoyed it very much so. Andrea Riker, the owner over there, just go and tell her she's a little redhead running around. And then Mindy, one of your servers there, they'll hook you up if you tell them I sent you.
Hostetter taking first on a walk. You got runners on the corners for the Eagles now. And Nelson Lane going to be up next. We do got a pitching change going to take place for Western Hills. And we'll tell you about the pitcher when we return. You're watching high school baseball, the 11th Region Baseball Championship Tournament right here on PrepSpin.com.
Scott County Physical Therapy is a privately owned physical therapy practice specializing in outpatient orthopedics, sports and industrial rehab, neurological rehabilitation, low back pain, neck pain, and arthritic conditions. Our mission is to provide the highest quality physical therapy to assist each individual and the community at large. Scott County Physical Therapy, a journey to wellness. To contact the physical therapist and Scott County Physical Therapy, please dial 502-863-4242. Scott County Physical Therapy is the title sponsor for Scott County Athletics.
Summer Heroes Read. Summer reading kicks off at Scott County Public Library May the 31st. Don't miss superhero story times for children. For teens, check out the White Hat computer hacking class, supervillain costume party, and running the city police obstacle course. Adults enjoy free Wi-Fi, computer access, books, movies, and music. Relax and recharge at the Scott County Public Library. Check us out at www.scottpublib.org.
All right, we got information on our new pitchers. We return here to the ballpark, and out there on the mound is going to be Harper Jackson. He comes in from second base, so Harper Jackson going to now pitch, and then coming back into the ball game is going to be Connor Graves, who started the game for Western Hills on the mound. He's now at second base, Darren Douglas.
At second base. Jackson on the year, 20 in the third innings pitched. He's thrown 91 balls, 212 strikes. Giving up 17 runs, 14 of them earned, a 4.82 earned run average. He struck out 10 and walked only 2, but giving up 30 hits. So he is hittable, but he won't walk a lot of people. So it means one of two things. One, he's around the plate all the time.
Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Our score here at the ballpark, 9-4. LCA Eagles, they're on top right now. Here in the top of the fourth inning of play.
Now, I'm going to think you're out of this if you cannot get this trivia question right. Got one for you brought to you by Madison's on Main out of Versailles, downtown Versailles. If out of the 15 state championships won by 11th region teams, 3 of them have been won by teams outside of Lexington or outside the 5 public schools in Lexington. Can you name them?
Well, Woodford County back in 2012, that's one of them.
That's one of them. That's a given.
Madison Central would be another.
Do you know the year? 1982. The last undefeated team, I believe. 40-0. And Mike Ritchie looks like he played against that bunch.
And then the third one, my only guess would probably be Franklin County.
No.
I struck out.
Outside of the 5 public Lexington schools.
Outside of the 5 public.
Yes.
Oh.
LCA.
Yeah.
In 2005.
Yeah, Lexington Catholics won
right.
2 state
So I'm wrong. I forgot about Catholic, but I forgot about LCA, and I shouldn't have forgotten about Catholic or about LCA because my cousin was a senior on that ball club, broke his leg in sliding practice the week before the state tournament and could not play. Chris Wade. Now, Chris, you owe me some money for that one, buddy. Name dropping, that's right. Pretty doggone good ball player. Oh, yeah, I can name drop him right there with Mike Ritchie and a good buddy, Mr. Mark Walls over there in Georgetown. I can drop him just as quick as those two can.
Well, there's a thing about name dropping and then actually going out and saying, hey, this guy really does name drop, but he backs it up.
That's true.
There's a shot out to right field.
Good job of hitting.
Another run comes across the plate for the Eagles. A quick play over at first place, but back on the base in time for the Eagles is Nelson Lane. So Nelson Lane with an RBI single. Boys, we got off track.
Well, I tell you, that was a nice job of hitting from Lane. That pitch was down and in, and he went down and got it and served it in right field.
Player.
You know, Gary was trying to tell us this team from LCA was aggressive in the first 4 spots. I think 1 through 9 they've been aggressive at the plate.
Yeah, they're 1 through 9. Have you looked at their roster? I mean, if you look up and down their roster here, they've got a lot of guys on there, and you know, if you play
Are you
at
telling me
LCA,
everybody plays?
Well, I mean, if you play at LCA, you're good. So, all those guys know how to hit. Trust me.
I tell you what, there's guys I've seen in this region in the past about 30 to 50 years, or 30 to 40 years that I can actually hit when they get up out of their bed, out of a dead sleep.
10-4 our score. Runners on the corners for the Eagles. 1 down here in the top of the 4th inning. There's a snap throw. Howard down to first, back in time. Over on the base is Nelson Lane.
You know, and I can't remember the guy who, for that LCA team in 2005, missed a couple of games because of injury and then came back and went 4 for 4 the very next game.
Slow curve ball. Reached out there was Blair. He reached for that one, found it out of play. 1-2 the count here to Blair at the plate. Well, if you're just joining us, folks, I'm telling you, LCA, they brought the hot bass today. 4 runs in the first inning, 1 in the second, and then 5 runs in the 4th so far. There's a chopper to third base. Nice play over. Oh, I might have jinxed him. The first baseman, Arflack, he tried to scoop that one up on a 1-hopper. And the ball comes flying out of his glove there, so everybody's safe for the Eagles. Another run crosses the plate. 11-4 our score.
Well, I tell you, Wheatley, the third baseman, had to wait for it to come down. He had more time than I think he was aware of when he let that one go and just kind of short-armed it and then short hopped his first baseman in our flag.
11-4, Eagles. Jackson on the mound for the Wolverines. There's a toss down to second base. It goes out in the center field, backing it up as Angling back there. Angling, in the center field for Western Hills. But you got runners on first and second for the Eagles at the plate. Drew Schott, who's had a pretty good day. He's been on base every time he's been at bat today.
That's the only one out, too. And if Howard lets that go the first time he cocked his arm instead of double clutching it, may have had a shot at the runner at second.
Schott's going to lay down the bunt. Schott's got some wheels over to first, and there's a toss over there, and they do get him by step. Good play coming off the mound there from Jackson, Harper Jackson. If you look out at Jackson, too, I don't know.
Wearing the face mask,
I was going to say, is that face mask or has he just got a lot of facial hair?
No, face mask, and he's been hit in the face with a ball, and you usually see that in fast-pitch softball from the girls. Kelsey Nunley at UK wears it, but
gotcha.
And he wears the arm or the mask off his helmet as well.
Well, Drew Schott got the job done. He moved the runners up 90 feet, so he did his job. And stepping up to the plate now is Andrew Barker, who's also had a pretty good game today. Base hit RBI in the ball game for the Eagles. Barker digging in. He's looking at a count of 0-1. He's going to lift one out to left field. That ball going way back, looking up, and you can kiss that one goodbye. There it was. Andrew Barker goes yard.
Boy, I tell you what, he got a hanging breaking pitch.
Yes, he did.
And centered it up on the barrel of the bat. And we said it might, if a ball gets out here today, it might be wind aided. There was no wind at all. That was all Barker.
Barker just sent that one out to left field. There it was for that young man. Eagles have scored 8 runs here in the top of the 4th inning of play. Man. Gary Ball, you saw that. That was gone as soon as I left the bat one.
I didn't see where it came down, but it had some pretty good carry on it. I didn't know that.
3-run shot for Barker. Eagles leading the ball game 14-4. That's 9 runs. I said 8. That's actually 9 runs in this inning for the Eagles.
I tell you what, this ball club can swing the bat, that's for sure. And
Barton out there in left field, all he could do was look up at that.
Well, he went back like he said, thought he had a shot at it, and then he said, "Well, I think I can't climb this fence because I'm not Spider-Man." So
at the plate, 0-2 the count here to Frederick Rupp. Jackson gonna step off the rubber. There's the pitch. Rupp fouls this one in front of the Western Hills dugout. Look out, everybody.
Well, they all kind of they're scattered a little bit.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in today, and also want to thank our sponsors, Rebound Orthopedics, Dr. Lyon over in Frankfort, Kentucky, Scott County Physical Therapy, also Clear Choice Orthodontics, home with Doctors Durbin, Wong, and Gardner, Whitaker Bank, and Scott County Public Library. Also want to thank Henry Clay High School, Amanda Christensen, and her great staff here at Henry Clay for hosting such a great event and feeding us well today as well.
I'll tell you, it's this event is one to see. If you've never been to an 11th Region Baseball tournament game, you need to come. And the way the last 5 to 10 years is going, as far as on the softball side in the 11th Region, you might want to come watch the ladies play as well. You got some outstanding teams in this area. You know, we talk about all the rankings for all the baseball teams in the 11th Region, where they've been ranked, I think, somewhere between 4 and 6 all year in the top 25.
Mm-hmm.
Well, right now the girls have 2 ranked in the top 5 in the 11th Region. That'll be Scott County Woodford. And if they take care of business tomorrow, that'll be a heck of a collision in the 11th Region girls finals over at Dunbar on Wednesday night as well.
Yep.
May hamper the crowd here a little bit, maybe, if those two hook it up in the finals over there.
Who's the head coach of Woodford County?
Sasha Taransky. They got her out of the college ranks. She was assistant coach at the college ranks.
There's a shot over to the shortstop, making the play over there. Bennett fires over to first to our flag. And that's going to do it for the Eagles, but what a big inning for LCA. 9 runs. Yes, 9 runs across the plate for the Eagles in the top of the 4th. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Wolverines trying to answer at the plate. Can they do it? We'll find out right after these messages from our sponsors. You're listening and watching high school baseball right here on PrepSpin.com.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Over 30,000 Kentuckians are saving time and money by doing their banking online with Whitaker Electronic Banking.
341,000 transactions were made on the go last year using the Whitaker Bank mobile app.
Over 340,000 text alerts were sent last year with Whitaker Bank text banking.
We share your passion, Kentucky. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
Bottom of the 4th we go here at Henry Clay High School, and stepping up to the plate is going to be Connor Graves for the Wolverines. Connor Graves, the only at-bat he's had today, grounded out to second base. So it'll be Graves, Emberton, and Bennett due up. 8, 9, and 1 in the lineup there for the Wolverines.
You know, if you're Miley right now, you need to go out there and just throw. I'd pump fastball after fastball right now in the zone. You're up 10. Let your defense work for you. Just don't try to nibble. Don't try to be too fine. Just pump fastball after fastball in the strike zone.
Pitch down low. 2 balls, no strikes.
He's only given up 2 hits.
You see it on the scoreboard there. 14-4, Eagles with the lead. The pitch, that one upstairs, a ball. So a base on balls given up there to Graves. And Teddy Emberton going to step up to the plate. Emberton struck out his only at bat today. So Emberton, a left-handed hitter, going to dig in here for the Wolverines. Runner over on first for him, and that's Connor Graves. Graves, the starting pitcher tonight for him. He's now playing second base.
Seniors on their roster. So
young team, yes, sir.
You know that come out and brand new coach in his first year at Western Hills, and you come out and win your district. Albeit probably the district in the 41st is down quite a bit.
Miley, a big pitch there. He brought the heat in there for a strike. 0-1 to count. Teddy Emberton. Emberton, the right fielder. He's made a couple good plays tonight out in right field for the Wolverines today.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the thing. When you give up the 2 big innings they've given up, they've given 4 in the first and 9 in the top half of this inning. It's tough as a fielder to keep yourself into the game. So little tricks that some kids may do is, they may sit out there and think about, hey, what happened to this game, just try to play himself through another game to keep himself into the game he's currently in.
1 ball, 1 strike here to Emberton. Getting over at first base, Connor Graves. He's getting a nice lead. He's about 7 feet off that bag over there. Miley's going to deliver to the plate. This one's shot out to right field. It's going to be a fair ball. It's going to take a couple hops and hits off the right field wall out there, and Western Hills going to hold the runner up at third. So you got runners at second and third for the Wolverines. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th inning of play. So Western Hills, they're starting to come alive at the plate again.
Well, the thing is this, you look at how this game's unfolded. Each team plated runs in the first. Each team's got a single run in the second. Then the third, neither got a run in. 9 here in the top half of the inning for LCA. Don't look for Western Hills put 9 on the board, but they can put a couple runs on the board here to help their confidence a little bit.
Well, you know what they say in high school baseball is no run lead is big enough in high school baseball.
Well, we've seen it. And I don't think necessarily that's necessarily true now because the bats aren't as live. They've deadened them a little bit, so that helps a little bit. But it can.
A pitch upstairs, 1-1 to count here at the plate. To the leadoff hitter, that's Thomas Bennett. Base on balls twice today. So he's seen the base a couple times, scored a couple times as well. That one fouled off the hands.
Good pitch by Miley. Got right in on the thumbs of Bennett.
1-2. Thomas Bennett digging back in. Umbrellas come back down here at the ballpark. We've been fortunate so far. There's a shot out to right field, making the play out there, Ty Stevens. Nobody advances on the bases, though, for the Wolverines. As Stevens came in, he made a nice throw back into the infield, and we're going to have Parker Jackson up to the plate.
Well, for the young players out there watching, William, good job by LCA to hit the cutoff man. That way neither runner could advance by volume throwing the improper
Parker
base.
Jackson hits one out to the gap to right. Tag on this play. Western Hills back on the 5. So Western Hills scores another run. 14-5 our score. And that takes away the run rule in the 5th inning so far, Darren Douglas.
But you got LCA coming back up to the top of the plate. But if you're Western Hills, you've got to get this run in, even with 2 outs. You got to get him in right now to at least put multiple runs on.
We're going to have an appeal, and he's safe at second is what we were told. Is they're trying to say that perhaps
second,
the young man didn't tag in time from second to third.
No, I actually thought he didn't go really till after the runner of third had broke home after the tag.
Eagles did appeal it, but stepping up to the plate, here's Howard. Jesse Howard, he's hit by pitches last at bat. Got a base hit in the ball game as well. That pitch in there for a strike. Miley's given up 5 runs today, but he's been pretty collective out there on the mound.
Well, it helps the pitcher's confidence when your offense puts up 14 runs.
Chopper down the third base line, foul. Good play over there by the Western Hills coach.
Supposed to charge that one, though. He backed up on it.
Well, I seen a play earlier today. Maybe it was a Woodford County game where the coach took a hot shot over there, but he got it off of one hopper with bare hands.
That sounds like somebody that wears that black and gold. And I graduated from there, so I can say that. Saw an umpire actually make a nice play in game number 1 on a line drive down there. Of course, it was like radar. He took a couple steps to his left, thought he avoided the ball, and it kept just following. So it's either that or take it in the chest for the umpiring crew.
Oh, there's a shot right back up to the pitcher. Just misses Miley. Miley almost had his leg taken there.
Yep.
As another run crosses the plate for the Wolverines. 14-6. Well, they got that extra run you're talking about.
It just helps you confidence-wise. You just keep putting runs on the board. It helps you confidence-wise, and as long as you can extend the game.
Chip away, right?
Yeah, chip away. You want to play, Because, let's face it, in the Sayre game, it was 1-1 in the 5th. And then, Sayre, putting Lafayette pitchers in tough circumstances in the first couple of innings, didn't get anything out of it, and they got the run in the 5th and to tie it, and then they hung another 5 in the top of the 7th. So you never know what can happen. Just keep playing, keep putting the ball in play, try to play a full 7. That's your goal right now.
They said RBI over there at first base for Jesse Howard, and here's Luke Wheatley at the plate, looking at a count of 1 ball, no strikes. Wheatley waving his wand pretty wildly there as he takes a big swing and a miss.
Nice slow breaking pitch that time from Miley. May have gotten away with it because he left it up a little bit.
1-1 the count. 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th inning of play. William Warfield alongside Darren Douglas and Mr. Gary Ball producing for us today, supervising. Mike Ritchie also in the house. Mike Ritchie will have the next game coming up. Henry Clay going to be taking on tonight. Who does Henry Clay got?
Model.
Model. That's who it is. Model Patriots. Shot over to the third baseman, Rupp. He picks up, fires to first. Good play there by Rupp again. He's got a gold glove over there at third base, doesn't he?
Well, it seems like at the high school level, especially, you make routine plays, and then all of a sudden you or make really tough plays, and then you make a routine play look hard. But good inning for Western Hills to get a couple back.
All right, again, our score here at the ballpark, Chuck Stivers Field, excuse me. It's 14-6. The Eagles of Lexington Christian, they're on top as we head to the 5th inning of play. We'll have that coming up for you right after these messages from our sponsors.
The Kentucky Center for Orthodontics, home of Doctors Durbin, Wong, and Gardner, is now Clear Choice Orthodontics. Why the name change, you ask? Well, we believe that there's only one choice for all your orthodontics needs, and that choice is clear. Clear Choice Orthodontics. We offer a unique level of care for each smile in your family. We also feature the latest in Invisalign technology and Invisalign Teen. Put our award-winning experience to work for you. For a lifetime of beautiful smiles, come visit the most outstanding orthodontist in Kentucky, Clear Choice Orthodontics, home of Doctors Durbin, Wong, and Gardner.
We head to the top of the 5th inning of play here at Chuck Stivers Field. William Warfield again with Darren Douglas, Gary Ball, Mike Ritchie. As Robbie Stevens going to step back up to the plate for the Eagles here in the top of the 5th inning of play. They had a big inning, the last one. There in the top of the 4th, the Eagles scored 9 runs. Robbie Stevens, one of the big guys in that inning with the base hit RBI. Looks at that pitch in there for a ball. Just misses inside. Again, Howard Jackson out there on the mound. Harper Jackson on the mound for Western Hills. 1-1 to count. Rebound Orthopedics. Dr. Lyon over in Frankfurt. Want to thank him for all of his support here on the network. Is going to have a hit by pitch. So Robbie Stevens on base again. Of course, I'm sure he doesn't like to be on base after being hit by a pitch.
Every baseball player at some point in their time in their career gets hit by a pitch, and just some more than others.
Here's a trivia question. Who was the all-time leader in hit by pitches?
Oh, goodness.
He's going into Hall of Fame this year. You should know this, Darren Douglas. All-time leader in hit by pitches. I actually broadcasted a game with him, honestly. Up in the Metrodome, he was up there, and I was able to broadcast a Perfect Game USA game with him.
My brain is just like gone right now.
It's Craig Biggio.
Well, of course, he had enough armor on that left side of his body to take a few.
Led the major leagues in hit by pitches.
Yeah, he gave me one. Let's see if he knows this one. How about this one? Who was originally, what baseball player was originally known as the before? You might know this one too. You should know this one.
Is he my era?
Well,
my era, your era.
I tell you what, right now you are the youngest one in this corner of the press box by far. Okay, you should remember him. As a matter of fact, he was a pretty good manager after his playing days were over.
Lou Piniella.
No, he leads probably the number of ejections for no reason.
Well,
not the funniest ejection I ever saw. That took place over here at Whitaker Bank Ballpark when it was known as Applebee's Ballpark. That was hilarious that night. I can't remember the guy's name, and actually I was in the park when that happened that night. Could not believe what I was watching.
1 ball, no strike here at the plate. That one catches the outside corner for a strike.
Well, anybody that knows my longtime broadcaster down in Versailles in Woodford County, Matt Calvert, he is a fan of this team.
Well, we got Ty Stevens at the plate. That's all. I'm not sure who that would be. There's a shot out to shallow center field coming in there, angling, and he makes the play.
I got him all messed up. You said shallow center field. Got you all messed up, don't I?
Shallow center field.
It's easy for you to say. Mike Hargrove played for the Cleveland Indians. He would take a good 5 minutes to get in the batter's box.
Who in the world would have guessed Mike Hargrove? I tell you, here's
a baseball fan.
Here you go. Why don't we pull in some
okay.
Lexington Christian trivia here?
Well, give me one. I may be able to pull this one out.
Robbie Ross,
Uh-huh.
former LCA pitcher, has 2 brothers playing high school baseball right now. What high school are they playing for?
Well, I would say LCA.
No, sir.
But they're not, huh?
No, sir. They are pretty good outfielders, by the way.
Wow.
Cover a lot of ground. They pitch a little bit as well. Not West Jessamine.
East.
East Jessamine. That's correct.
Okay. I should have known it had a Nicholasville connection.
There's a shot right back up the middle. Diving second baseman there, Graves. He couldn't get to it, so the Eagles with runners on first and second here, working again in the top of the 5th inning of play. They do have 2 outs on the board, however.
Yeah, I should have known where you're from. That should have been a hint. But here's your
Robbie Ross, Boston Red Sox now. He was he started his career with the Texas Rangers. He got traded to Boston, and
we talk about all the talent that's come through this region.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous. The amount of talent that's come through this 11th region, and really the talent pool has really been right there out in the middle of the diamond on the pitching mound, because you think of some of the guys who have come through here. Some guys didn't even make it to the pros, but got as high as AAA or had arm troubles and gave up the sport. Just phenomenal what the 11th region has produced to the major leagues.
Well, LCA holding back their ace tonight. Dimma. He's not pitching tonight, but yep.
You'll probably see him tomorrow night if they can close this one out.
You're still getting a good game tonight from Miley, though.
Yeah.
Giving up 6 runs, but his team's backed him up tonight. The pitch outside and high. We're having to peel down to first. And
that's what
umpire says no, he did not go around. At the plate for LCA, first at bat tonight for this young man. It's number 17, Darren Douglas, and Woodward. Yep.
Okay.
His name's cut off down here on my roster. That's why William Woodward's who that is. But Gary Ball says he's a great kid, and
he's a big kid too. He's got some really nice size to him here.
He does.
Looks right up on the plate there. Nice breaking pitch. Got him.
Got him. Well, that's going to do it for the Eagles there in the top of the 5th inning of play. No runs crossed the plate for LCA. We're going to head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Wolverines, they need some runs, Darren Douglas.
Yep.
Can they do it? We're going to find that out here shortly. You're watching high school baseball, the 11th region tournament, right here on PrepSpin.com.
Scott County Physical Therapy is a privately owned physical therapy practice specializing in outpatient orthopedics, sports and industrial rehab, neurological rehabilitation, low back pain, neck pain, and arthritic conditions. Our mission is to provide the highest quality physical therapy to assist each individual and the community at large. Scott County Physical Therapy, a journey to wellness. To contact the physical therapist and Scott County Physical Therapy, please dial 502-863-4242. Scott County Physical Therapy is the title sponsor for Scott County Athletics.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Whitaker Bank supports 496 Kentucky schools.
Over 282,000 students benefit from Whitaker Bank's Kentucky education initiatives.
It has contributed $441,000 to advancement of Kentucky's youth.
Share your
All right, we return here to Henry Clay High School, Chuck Stivers Field, William Warfield alongside Darren Douglas, Gary Ball, and Mike Ritchie tonight as we bring you high school baseball here on PrepSpin.com. And got a new pitcher out there on the mound, Darren Douglas, for LCA. That's going to be Mills Label. And Connor Mills Label, the new pitcher. We also got Ryan Stuckey out in center field for the Eagles. And, of course, here at the plate for Western Hills is Landon Arflack, the first baseman. He's going to send this one out to left field, and it's going to be a tough play. It's going to land in there. It found a hole out there in between the triangle that the LCA defense created, and going to be a base hit there for Arflack.
Yeah, well, here they come again. They just continue to swing away. That's hit number 5. I think they've had a runner on base in every inning so far today, including the third when they weren't able to get a run in. But I think they've had a runner on in every inning has Western Hills.
They're going to have a toss over to first base as Mills Label tosses over there to Barker back in time as the Wolverines runner. Foul ball out of play. England at the plate today. Reached base on the air and grounded out. They say third time's a charm, Darren Douglas. That curve ball for a strike. 0-2 the count. England digging back in again over there at first. Arflack. Nice lead. Mills Label. The pitch to the plate. There's a toss out there to second base from the catcher, Wills. That one wide right. So a stolen base for Arflack.
Well, Arflack got a great jump on Mills Label, and there wasn't a whole lot he could do about it, the catcher.
That worked. Thank you. All right. Well, they're taking care of us here at Henry Clay. We had a quick meeting out there on the mound.
That's one of those where they just go out there and get their signs right, catcher to pitcher. They want, especially as a catcher. I had a catcher walk after me one time and say, hey, I don't care. We're going to go through some signs. You just throw what you want. I'll try to catch it.
There's the pitch from Mills Label. Hit down to Rupp. Rupp has it. Take a wild bounce on him in front of him over there at third base. So runners on the corners now for the Wolverines. And Western Hills starting to catch a break at the plate.
Well, Rupp let that one play him. That ball, he was back about even with the bag. And instead of taking a couple of steps in and maybe being aggressive toward the baseball to field it, he waited back on it and let it play him. And
I think he had to because the runner coming from second to third.
Well, the runner for second never broke, though. He just kind of hung out. The ball was hit in front of him with less than 2 outs. You don't want to make the first out on a base running mistake with nobody behind you.
And the pitch up around the hands, popped up. It could be playable, but it's going to land foul.
Of course, we have a lot of people go, well, why didn't Arflack go to third? Well, could he gone to third on the throw to first? Well, he could have, but the rule is a thumb. If you're a runner at second with less than 2 outs, ball hit in front of you, in other words, to the left side of the infield, wait, see if it gets through. If it gets through now, you can advance. But if it doesn't get through, even if it's just knocked down, you're still at second base with runners at first and second and no outs.
Again, 14-6 our score here at Henry Clay High School. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning of play, and taking second out there now for the Wolverines is England. So England with a stolen base. Again, Barton here at the plate. Grounded out twice today. Mills Label's pitch outside and high. The count, 2 balls and a strike. Nobody out. Wolverines threatening to score here again in the bottom of the 5th inning of play. Big swing and a miss there by Barton. Will's behind the plate for LCA. He's caught a good game today.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm a former catcher myself, and got to give the catcher some love. As that curveball misses outside. Now, Mills Level, he doesn't have a lot of velocity on any of his pitches here, Darren Douglas.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not about how hard you throw. I mean, Greg Maddox was a prime example. They parlayed that into a Hall of Fame career.
There's a shot out to left field. That might be dangerous, and it is. It's going to land just to the right of the left fielder out there, Blair out there in right field. 2 runs across the plate for the Wolverines.
Well, the way Blair went at the baseball out there, I thought he may have had a shot at it. It just looked like he kept just tailing away from him as it went towards the line. And, a couple of runs in now for Western Hills, and Coach Galloway on his way to the mound.
It's going to be a double for 2 RBIs there for Barton. And we're going to have, like you said, a meeting out there on the mound right now. Our score 14-8 here in Lexington. And looks like Austin Dick's going to be the new pitcher for the Eagles. We'll tell you about him, what we know about him anyway. We know he's a great basketball player coming up in the Lexington Christian Academy system there. But we'll tell you about him on the baseball field here shortly. You're watching high school baseball on PrepSpin.com.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Over 30,000 Kentuckians are saving time and money by doing their banking online with Whitaker Electronic Banking.
341,000 transactions were made on the go last year using the Whitaker Bank mobile app.
Over 340,000 text alerts were sent last year with Whitaker Bank text banking.
We share your passion, Kentucky. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
Darren Douglas, Austin Dick out there on the mound for the Eagles now. What do we know about him other than he's a good basketball player moving up in Coach Nate Valentine's system?
And a right-handed pitcher. Looks like he's got a motion that will basically bring everything into play. Throws the left hand arm out there and with the glove, and also throws out the kind of a little bit of his backside to the plate, and he has a real loose arm, it looks like, and that's just going to be one of those tough pitchers to pick up for these young Western Hills hitters.
Here's Connor Graves at the plate for the Wolverines. 14-8 our score, and Graves is going to have a base hit here, and Western Hills is going to hold up the runner at third. He takes a wide turn, but Graves with a base hit, and runners on the corners again for the Wolverines.
Well, Barton had his head down. I didn't know if he saw Coach Chisholm, the third base coach, throwing up the stop sign, but
you're right.
And when he looked up, he saw Coach Chisholm there with the hand up. Usually, if a runner has his head down, a coach will also give a verbal. I don't know if Coach Chisholm did that or not.
Teddy Emberton going to step up to the plate here now for the Wolverines. 14-8 our score. Again, nobody out here in the bottom of the fifth inning of play. Western Hills continues to bat here in the bottom of the fifth. There's the bunt laid down. Good play by the catcher. He tosses over to first. What a play there by Wills coming out of his stance, Darren Douglas.
Yeah, really nice play by Wills. And here's the thing that I liked about that. He came out very aggressively, but he went after it with his bare hand. At the same time, was looking back the runner at third and then made a really crisp throw to the first baseman. But, man, was he out from behind the plate quick.
Yes, he did. As stepping up to the plate now for Western Hills. And back to the top of the lineup, this is Thomas Bennett. Thomas a couple times on the bases tonight. 14-8 our score. That one in there for a strike. Western Hills with runners on second and on third. Austin Dick on the mound now for LCA. 1-1 the count here at the plate to Bennett. Bennett going to let this one out to right field. It's playable. Ty Stevens has it. He's charging in. Makes the throw. Nobody advances or tags.
Yeah, Barton was about 10 to 12 feet off the bag and retreated as the ball was coming down to the glove of the right fielder, so he really wasn't in a position to tag. But you're down 6 runs, and you got a chance to get 2 more runs close with a hit, even with 2 outs. So good play by Western Hills to hold the runner at third.
Parker Jackson going to step up to the plate. It's the second time tonight, by the way, that Bennett's flat out to right field. Jackson's going to hit one up the middle. It's a good play there by the shortstop, Robbie Stevens. He picks up, fires over to Barker at first base, and that's going to do it for the Wolverines. 2 runs for the Wolverines. Crosses the plate there in the bottom of the 5th. Darren, we're going to head to the top of the 6th. LCA coming up to the plate. Their bats have been hot as well tonight. Can they continue that up? We'll see when we return after these messages from our sponsors.
The Kentucky Center for Orthodontics, home of Doctors Durbin, Wong, and Gardner, is now Clear Choice Orthodontics. Why the name change, you ask? Well, we believe that there's only one choice for all your orthodontics needs, and that choice is clear. Clear Choice Orthodontics. We offer a unique level of care for each smile in your family. We also feature the latest in Invisalign technology and Invisalign Teen. Put our award-winning experience to work for you. For a lifetime of beautiful smiles, come visit the most outstanding orthodontist in Kentucky, Clear Choice Orthodontics, home of Doctors Durbin, Wong, and Gardner.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Whitaker Bank supports 496 Kentucky schools.
Over 282,000 students benefit from Whitaker Bank's Kentucky education initiatives.
Whitaker Bank has contributed almost $441,000 to education programs for the advancement of Kentucky's youth.
We share your passion, Kentucky.
Love the bank that loves you back.
Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
We head to the top of the 6th inning of play here in Lexington at Henry Clay High School. William Warfield alongside Darren Douglas, Gary Ball, and Mike Ritchie in the house. Gary doing some supervising today. As he says, I'm going to let you young guys. Well, talking to me, not you, Darren.
Yeah, young guy.
So I'm going to let you handle this one
Make it singular. I know where I'm headed, and I know how close I am in age to Gary, my good buddy Mac. And, it's baseball world lost a pretty good guy. You remember the longtime coach down at Davis County, and Gary Bartlett lost his father just about 24 hours ago. Mr. Charles Bartlett. Mr. Charles, 99 years young.
Wow.
When he passed away. But
well, here at the plate for Lexington Christian is Mr. John Stein, and he's going to have a base hit into the gap in left center field. Stein, he's looking for 2. No, he's going to head back to first. He took a wide turn. That's a good relay throw back into the field out there by Anglin, who got it quickly into Bennett.
I believe that was the left fielder Barton that got over and cut it off. But I like the way this LCA team runs the bases. They go hard down the field. Yeah, they did. I mean, they really did. The thing is, they run down the first as hard as any team I've ever seen. They round the bases really hard. They make you wonder if they're trying to take 2 on a routine hit.
Well, I think you're right about that.
What part?
That one in there for a strike.
Got to ask because I never know with you.
I don't know, Darren Douglas. I can almost imagine you saying that the guys dress up as mailmen and they have dogs at practice.
You never know. It's one of those days. I mean, something may come out of my mouth like this. You never know.
Dog gonna get you, Mr. Mailman.
I threw one out with Mac one day at a baseball game. We were calling a couple of years back, and we were sitting on our stools, and next thing I know, Mac's on the floor. He was
14-8.
So I said something funny. I don't know what he said.
There's a base hit.
Yep.
There's a base hit. All right, so LCA again is another base hit.
I was stucky
with that one.
Yeah.
So Stein and Stuckey come through here for the Eagles, and now stepping up to the plate
Sounds
for
a law
LCA.
firm. Stein and Stuckey sounds like a law firm, doesn't it?
It may be one day. You never
Maybe.
know.
You never know.
Well, coming up to the plate now, it looks like
Galloway.
15. Yeah, it's Chase Galloway. Coach Galloway's kid stepping up to the plate. He rests that bat on his shoulder there, Darren, left-handed hitter. So he takes that first pitch upstairs and high. Again, want to thank everybody for tuning in today to PrepSpin.com, the 11th Region Baseball Tournament. Darren Douglas on color, William Warfield here on play-by-play, Gary Ball supervising, Mike Ritchie also in the house today. Mike Ritchie will have Henry Clay and Model coming up next here at the ballpark. Runners on first and second for the Eagles. Again, Galloway at the plate. Nobody out. Top of the sixth. That one gets through past the first baseman. And now bases are loaded for the Eagles. Bases loaded. Galloway gets it right past the first baseman. Now, Arflack, he was trying to hold the runner on. He didn't get back in its position in time, or else he could have made that play there. But it's a base hit any way you look at it for Galloway. So bases loaded for the Eagles.
With nobody out.
Nobody out, and stepping up is the guy that's had a hot bat today, Frederick Rupp. Had a great glove at third and had a great bat at the plate today as well. So he's doing it from both sides of the field. He's playing the game of baseball well today. So Rupp ready to roll. Here's the pitch. That one in there, a strike by Harper Jackson. Jackson working from the middle of the rubber. Again, bases loaded for the Eagles. 14 our score. Rupp going to lift this one. It's going to be a tough play for the first baseman, but he makes it over there. Arflack, he had to go with his back turned towards the infield. He makes a basket catch over the shoulder. So that's the first out, and Rupp retired.
That's a remarkable play by Arflack because, number one, he's in on the grass to cut the run down at home. Then he's got to avoid the first base coach, the runner at first, the first base bag, and then locate the baseball.
Robbie Stevens going to step up to the plate. Slow curveball in there for a strike.
You know, Jackson coming down from less than three-quarter arm angle, and a lot of pitchers, a lot of people think that may do more damage to your shoulder than the other, but I've heard experts say it does less damage because you're not bringing straight over the top.
That one in there for a strike as well. 0-2 the count.
So I guess it's who you ask, right?
That's right. 0-2 the count, says Harper Jackson. Rests on the mound, delivers, sidearm pitch. This one going to be, he reached out and grabbed it, hit it back over to the pitcher and the catcher to first base. Not a double play, but they did get the lead runner out there. This is a good play on the mound, Jackson.
Yeah, threw a nice ball to Howard, and Howard really turned it pretty good there. Made it closer at first, and maybe it should have been.
Robbie Stevens reached out on that pitch right there. It would have been a ball outside, I would imagine. But here's Hunter Wills to the plate. So Wills, he's got an RBI single, and he's also got he's got 2 RBIs in the ball game today, does Wills.
A couple more sitting out there for him right now.
He's got ducks on the pond. Eagles in the infield, or whatever way you want to put it. 14-8 our score. LCA with a lead. A sidearm pitch inside. Lexington Christian Academy.
I don't know where I came up with this, but with no rain, but during a rain delay the other day during a minor league game that I was catching online, they did the old deer hunting thing. Hadn't seen that one before. Interesting.
All There's a shot right back up to the pitcher. This time it's off his glove. That's not going to be playable. Another run crosses the plate for LCA. It's 15-8.
If Jackson doesn't reach that, it's still going to be a tough play for the shortstop.
15-8 our score.
Bennett, but it would have been a closer play at first had Bennett been able to come up and field it himself.
Would have been a good play at home plate if Jackson cleaned that or fielded that cleanly.
With 2 outs, you want to get the out at first.
He would have had a force out at home.
Well,
quick force out.
Could have been closer.
Going to have a courtesy runner coming in for the Eagles. That's going to be, it looks like third here for the Eagles. And looking up and down the roster.
Is that Ballard, isn't it?
Yeah, Ballard, yep.
Interesting
Ballard.
guy you may throw running the bases.
Ballard will probably most likely pitch tomorrow night.
That's what I'm saying. You get a pitcher that you're either saving for
tonight
tonight
or
or
to right field, camping out underneath of his Emberton, and he hauls that one in. Yeah. Eagles leave the bases loaded, but one run crosses the plate. 15-8 our score. LCA with the lead. We're going to head to the bottom of the 6th inning of play here in Lexington. Henry Clay High School. It's the 11th region tournament right here on PrepSpin.com.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
There are 50 Whitaker Bank locations serving Kentucky communities just like mine.
61 Whitaker Bank ATMs throughout Kentucky make getting quick access to cash easy.
Whitaker Bank staff serves the needs of nearly 70,000 Kentucky customers every day.
We share your passion, Kentucky. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
The Kentucky Center for Orthodontics, home of Doctors Durbin, Wong, and Gardner, is now Clear Choice Orthodontics. Why the name change, you ask? Well, we believe that there's only one choice for all your orthodontics needs, and that choice is clear. Clear Choice Orthodontics. We offer a unique level of care for each smile in your family. We also feature the latest in Invisalign technology and Invisalign Teen. Put our award-winning experience to work for you. For a lifetime of beautiful smiles, come visit the most outstanding orthodontist in Kentucky, Clear Choice Orthodontics, home of Doctors Durbin, Wong, and Gardner.
Chase Galloway going to be the new pitcher in the ball game for LCA. So Galloway going to be playing first base, excuse me. Let's see, and we got a new pitcher out there for the Eagles. We'll get you his name here in just a second. Looks like 22. Is that Miley again? Who's the pitcher for LCA now?
That's Austin Dick.
Austin Dick still in it. Okay. Austin Dick still out there on the mound for LCA. I overheard them say we might have a pitching change, but that's not the case. As Galloway, the first baseman now for LCA, as we are here in the bottom of the 6th inning of play. 15-8 our score. The Eagles with the lead. 15 runs in this ball game for LCA. Darren Douglas.
Yeah, 16 hits as well. So really good offensive output from the Eagles' offensive side of things. They've struggled a little bit with their pitching staff, but they were throwing their third best pitcher, the number 3 man in the rotation. So they still have number 1 and number 2 to hang on to.
Well, that's a
for the next couple of nights.
Base on balls there for Howard. Wheatley stepping up next, and then Arflack due up third in this inning. So here's Luke Wheatley, struck out his last at bat. Gonna step back up there. Again, want to thank everybody for tuning in to today's coverage of high school baseball. It's not the multi-camera stuff that you're used to with PrepSpin, but we wanted to bring you the action here today nonetheless, and give you some good play-by-play along with a live video shot today of the ball game. As we got all of our equipment at other ballparks right now, Darren. We got some bigger events. I wouldn't say bigger events, but we got events going on. Events.
Well, you know, it's been a really good day of baseball so far. We still got one game to go.
Hey. Yes, sir, as we got to toss over to first. Dick over there to Galloway. Again, 15-8 our score here at the ballpark. William Warfield alongside Double D. That's Darren Douglas. I guess, you know, I could be WW, Double W.
Yeah.
Double D sounds better, don't it?
Well, yeah.
Darren Douglas.
Sitting over here just speaking of it being in my own little world, I had a thought of a special person to me on this Memorial Day weekend.
Hold that thought. There's a foul down the third base line.
Yeah, we as a country tend to forget there were people who paid very severe and very tragic consequences for keeping this country free and enjoying weekends like we are today here at the ballpark, and other people cooking out at their houses and families' houses and stuff. And I want to thank all those people.
That ball shot out to center field. Hold that thought, Darren Douglas. Making a play out there, Stuckey.
We hit that right on the nose, but right at the center fielder, Stuckey. Just that, you know, we have so many people, male and female, that have paid the ultimate sacrifice in defense of this country, and you know, we thank them for that deal on today. We as a country forget what Memorial Day is really all about.
Our flag going to step back up to the plate. Runner on first base for the Wolverines. 15-8 our score. We're in the bottom of the sixth inning of play. William Warfield alongside Darren Douglas, Gary Ball, and Mike Ritchie here today. Crowd starting to pull out the umbrellas again here at the ballpark. So far we've been kind of lucky. It's kind of missed us, Darren Douglas.
Yeah, we've lucked out here so far.
Big swing and a miss there by our flack. 15-8 again our score. Bottom of the sixth inning of play. One out. 0-1 to count here to our flack. But runner on first for the Wolverines. We'll send a shout out to all of the Lexington Christian fans that have been texting and tweeting and sending us messages today. They're one of the schools that we normally cover here in the Lexington area. I'm not sure how many of the Wolverine fans knew that we were going to have the game on today, but got a couple of those fans watching as well today. Want to give them a shout out. The pitch outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, one down here in the bottom of the sixth inning of play. Speaking of tweets.
Yeah, speaking of. Friend of mine.
Dick's going to throw over to Galloway back in time over there on the bases as the Wolverines runner.
That friend, fans that follow games that I've done, friend down in San Antonio, Texas, sending me a text message.
Yeah.
Asked me what I'm doing on this Memorial Day.
He's probably watching down on the river, huh?
He's down there probably in his man cave. He's probably in trouble with his wife again. He's been in trouble with his wife a lot recently, but
that's not good.
He forgets to mow the lawn or forgets to take the clothes out of the washer, put them in the dryer, that kind of stuff. You know, typical man stuff. He usually does that on purpose. Boy, this was
Tyler England's going to hit that one far down the left field line and foul.
Boy,
that ball had the distance.
Yeah, boy, did it. He jumped all over that hanging breaking pitch.
England just hit that one over into the football field here at Henry Clay High School.
Just a little bit out in front of it, too, and that's why I was fouled quite a bit there. But
the pitch by Dick is low and outside the ball, 1-1. Getting runner on first base for the Wolverines. 1 ball, 1 strike at the plate for England. That pitch misses outside. 2 balls and a strike. Two balls, 1 strike. The pitch inside, 3-1. Three balls, 1 strike to count. Again, 2 down in the bottom of the 6th inning of play. Eagles with the lead, 15-8. That pitch down low, so a base on balls here. Runners on first and second for the Wolverines now. And stepping up to the plate is going to be Barton. Cameron, his last at bat, Darren Douglas, had a double with 2 RBIs.
Yeah, he had one in the left center field gap that.
So he loses that first pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Dick checking the runner out there. Delivers to the plate. Big swing and a miss. Dick took a lot off of that one.
Yeah, that looked like a really slow breaking pitch that Barton was way out in front of.
0-2 the count. Barton at the plate for the Wolverines. The pitch fouls this one out of play. Still got a big crowd here at the ballpark. Is a lot of the Henry Clay fans starting to move in, getting ready for the Henry Clay model game. It's coming up next, the 4th game today here on PrepSpin. Big swing and a miss. So Austin Dick gets the job done. No runs across the plate for the Wolverines in the bottom of the 6th. We're going to head to the top of the 7th. LCA trying to add some more insurance runs to the score. You're listening and watching high school baseball here at the 11th Region Tournament. Here live from Henry Clay High School on PrepSpin.com.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Whitaker Bank supports 496 Kentucky schools.
Over 282,000 students benefit from Whitaker Bank's Kentucky education initiatives.
Whitaker Bank has contributed almost $441,000 to education programs for the advancement of Kentucky's youth.
We share your passion, Kentucky.
Love the bank that loves you back.
Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
Scott County Physical Therapy is a privately owned physical therapy practice specializing in outpatient orthopedics, sports and industrial rehab, neurological rehabilitation, low back pain, neck pain, and arthritic conditions. Our mission is to provide the highest quality physical therapy to assist each individual and the community at large. Scott County Physical Therapy, a journey to wellness. To contact the physical therapist and Scott County Physical Therapy, please dial 502-863-4242. Scott County Physical Therapy is the title sponsor for Scott County Athletics.
Top of the 7 here at the ballpark, and William Warfield alongside Darren Douglas, Gary Ball, and Mike Ritchie here today for the 11th Region Baseball Tournament on PrepSpin.com, 11thRegionSports.com as well, and again, 15-8 our score. The LCA Eagles on top in this one, trying to add some insurance runs to their scoreboard. And they've had a good offensive day today.
Yeah, they have. You get 16 hits, 15 runs. I think Coach Galloway will point out that he has some guys maybe take some pitches they probably shouldn't have.
Austin Dick's going to put down the bunt. It's going to be a tough play for the pitcher. He makes it, though, just by a step, getting Austin Dick.
And then, of course, you have the 2 errors up on the board. Coaches want a clean game defensively. That way you limit the number of runs your opponent has.
Hagan Mallory going to step up to the plate now, wearing that number 30 jersey. I like the Eagles' jerseys here today is the blue in the front, the white in the back, the blue numbers. I like that. Swing and a miss by Mallory. Mallory getting some playing time today, courtesy of his Eagle starters who really put some runs up on the board today. Curveball in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike to count here to Mallory. You want to thank everybody for tuning in. Got a bunch of Eagles fans watching this one tonight and listening to us, Darren Douglas.
Yeah. It seems like you and I, when we open up the email and the Twitter, we get a whole lot of responses from people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what we're doing, whatever sport, whatever event we're covering. Seems like when you or I on the call, we get a lot of people that seem to message us. I don't know if they're trying to keep from laughing uncontrollably or something, but
Mallory goes down on strikes. We had a lot of success with our food and football.
Oh boy, didn't we?
That we did.
I gained 10 pounds just talking about the food that night. Actually, it was able to talk on Facebook with a lady who sent us a menu.
So why don't we have barbecue and baseball?
Well, we could do that.
What's happening on the grill?
We could
Let
do
us
that.
know.
We could do that. Of course, you and I being here so early in the morning, we might be pretty hungry by the time we get through with that
There's a
conversation.
shot out to the gap, left center. That's going to take a 1 hop in front of the center fielder out there. And a nice base hit for the Eagles. Did you get to see who hit that? You were talking, and I was paying attention to you.
I know. Well, you asked me a question.
Well, here's Stuckey at the plate, so let's see. Stuckey's at the plate. The young man at first base, we didn't get to catch his name. I apologize, folks.
I'll catch his number here in a second. Oh, caught my foot.
Stuckey's going to hit one out to left field, just foul. Field. Number
That's
1.
Jackson Blair.
Jackson Blair, that's who they is. Okay. He's behind up. That's why. Jackson Blair with that base hit for the Eagles. We try not to let those get bys, but want to recognize them for that base hit. Here's the pitch from Western Hills. Harper Jackson on the mound for the Wolverines. The 0-2 pitch fouled off. Will remain 0-2. Coach Galloway and his Eagles trying to move to the semifinals tomorrow night against the winner between Henry Clay and Model. Well, that'd be a good game tomorrow if you get Henry Clay and LCA in the game together. Just shot down the first baseline foul. We already know one semifinal matchup. That's going to be Sayre taking on Madison Central. That should be a good game.
Yeah, that should be a really good game, an interesting game.
How about Coach Kevin Clary and what he's done with Sayre this year?
Oh, yeah. I mean, really nice job. You've got probably, from what I gather, the Flora kid who played third today for Sayre will probably be on the mound tomorrow night, the starter for Sayre. As far as Madison Central, I don't know who Coach Roof will throw.
Graves handles the grounder there at second base, and that's going to retire the Eagles. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Eagles 3 outs away from moving to the semifinals. You'll see it happen, if it happens, of course. You never know. Wolverines, they've had hot bats tonight as well, but the Eagles 3 outs away from victory, and you'll get to watch what happens coming up here next, right here on PrepSpin.com.
The Kentucky Center for Orthodontics, home of Dr. Wong and Gardner, is now there's only one orthodontics needs, and that we all technology and Invisalign put our award-winning experience to work for you. For a lifetime of beautiful smiles, come visit the most outstanding orthodontist in Kentucky, Clear Choice Orthodontics, home of Doctors Durbin, Wong, and Gardner.
All right, so we got a couple changes in the lineup for LCA. We were trying to get underway here, but Ty Stevens is going to come in to try to close this one out for the Eagles. Moving over to second base is Austin Dick. So Ty Stevens, the closer for LCA, going to go one-on-one here with Graves. The pitch sent right back where it came from, but in the center field, it's staying up there. Stuckey is going to haul that one in. One up, one down. And that's going to bring up to the plate for Western Hills. Looks like new
number
player.
6.
Nessel Road.
Davis Nessel Road.
Nessel up to the plate. First time tonight for Wolverines.
Nessel Road. Nessel Road.
Nessel Road.
Somebody's going, how in the world do you know how to spell that? Well, I had a friend whose last name was Nessel Road.
Okay.
I think he is the cousin of my longtime friend.
I used to like Nestle Crunch. That ball down low.
Let's just put it this way. We like anything with chocolate. All right?
All right. 15-8 our score again here in the bottom of the 7th inning of play. One out, 1-1 count here at the plate to Nessel Road.
A change up there.
And he swings and misses on that one, and it's 1-2.
That looked like a change up from Stevens there.
Again, want to send a shout out to all these Lexington Christian fans that are tweeting at us and sending us messages, thanking us for the coverage today. Got some Wolverine fans in there as well. Want to thank them for tuning in. Nessel Road reaches out for that one's going to foul it over there into his own dugout. You can pick a PrepSpin up on any streaming device, whether you're on iPhone, iPad, Android phone, probably Andrew phone too.
Andrew's phone at least.
Yeah. Big swing and a miss, so Stevens 1 out away. Stevens and LCA 1 out away from moving to the semifinals. So yeah, you can get on Xbox, on PlayStation, PlayStation 3 and 4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and the Roku, the Amazon Fire streaming box, the Amazon Stick, the Roku Stick, you name it, you can get it on it. As long as it's got internet access and get the YouTube app, you can get us on PrepSpin.com. I always go back and watch it on the big screen, Darren Douglas.
I had brain overload trying to remember all that.
That pitch upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Make that 2 balls, no strikes here at the plate. Eagles trying to close this one out. Ty Stevens, the closer for the Eagles. Just call him Mariano Rivera Jr. That one outside. 3 balls, no strikes. Eagles going to walk Bennett here. Bennett been on base 4 times tonight.
You'll take that from your leadoff man. So
here's Parker Jackson. Parker's been on base, or Bennett's been on base 3 times, 3 times and fought out twice. So here's Parker Jackson back up to the plate. He's going to send one out to right field. It's going to take a 1-hop in front of the right fielder out there. And now runners on first and second for the Wolverines.
It's Milsilage out there, isn't it?
Yep. Runners on first and second. Mike Ritchie, could be up next with the Henry Clay model game. It's coming up next here on PrepSpin. I want to thank Mike Ritchie for the opportunity region for basically organizing all this.
Mike will say anytime you take more pressure off of me, the better it is.
Mike Ritchie, a guy who's been around a long time.
Mm-hmm.
He says, which means he's old.
Yeah.
Oh.
Run him out of camp, and he gives another place to live. Mike's a good guy, though. Yeah. His partner he has to deal with over there is the one. No wonder Mike's back's hurt. He's got to carry Mark all the way around.
0-1 to count here at the plate again. 2 down. Eagles trying to get that last out. Runners on first and second for the Wolverines. 1 ball, 1 strike at the plate. Parker Jackson fouls this one straight back.
This is actually Howard.
Oh, that's Howard?
Yeah, Howard.
Yeah, my bad.
You're fine.
Jesse Howard.
Been a long day, man.
Forgot. Jackson hit one out there. I just didn't write his name down.
Now wait till you get Gary Mikes and my age. You'll really have trouble with.
Yeah, I'll be real bad. I'll be worse than you guys probably. Howard is the young man at the plate. The 1-2 in the dirt. Good block there by Wills. It still gets by him.
He got down there. And
he did get down.
Yeah, came up on him, and then looked like he may have gotten too high when trying to block it. And
got runners on second and third now for the Wolverines. LCA with a comfortable lead, though. They're up by 7 runs, and with 2 down here, and that 1 out is all they need. And that pitch upstairs took the helmet off of the young man there, Howard.
I don't know if Arflack has shaved yet for the first time. If not, he got a whisker check there.
Well, I don't think they said he shaved all season long.
Well, it doesn't look. I couldn't go without shaving at least once a week.
He's going to hit one out to deep right center field. And that's going to do it. The Eagles going to win. Right fielder for the Eagles hauls that one in. And the Eagles go on to the semifinals tomorrow night. The final in this one, 15-8. Boy, this was an offensive game. I had one last night at the Legends game, too, that went forever. They scored 24 runs last night. 28 runs last night in that ball game.
Both teams combined.
It
was 27, 14, 13 walk-off.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, 27.
When I say walk-off, folks, it was literally a walk-off. It was a walk that led to the walk-off.
27 runs in that ball game last night for the Legends. And then, of course, in this one right here, we get 23.
So you've had 50 in two nights.
I might get off the mic for a little bit.
That might help. that might help a little bit.
We'll get off the mic and hand it to Mike. How about that?
That'll work.
All right, so again, the Eagles go on to victory 15-8 here at the ballpark. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank Mike Ritchie and Gary Ball and Darren Douglas, again, for organizing today's coverage. And Mike Ritchie will have Henry Clay and Mono coming up next here on PrepSpin.com. God bless everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This is William Warfield saying until next time, so long.